camera 1. And then we go camera 2, and then we go camera 1. Hey! Look at... Wait. Did I test it? Did I test it in time? We'll grab this. Is camera 2 right side up? Camera 2 is right side up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. We fixed things in advance. I don't know about fixed, but yeah, I mean, it might work. It might work. We'll see how far we get. So we're are we here? I feel like we're here. We're here. I'm here. Some of y'all's is here. It's a Friday. Nothing wrong with a Friday. We'll see how many frames we drop today. We'll see if the internet is kind to us. We'll see how things go. We'll see how far I get. I don't know. What did I do? Oh yeah, we did HC6 last week. We did all right. We did okay. I haven't touched it since. Why would you assume that I would? We'll get back to it. I just did tire tests all week because tire tests are super easy. I just change tires and then I do the thing. Oh, Justin Osterman's birthday. Well, happy birthday. Hello from Quebec. That's far away. What the crack then? I don't know what that means. We're at 39. I don't know if 39 is spinning Susan yet. I don't know if we spin at 39. I don't know. I feel like we got to be higher. Oh, 49. Oh, it just jumped. I don't know. We'll get to a number and we'll spin Susan. I'm gonna have to move spin. We're gonna have to move old spinning out of the way here so that I can get a bunch of stuff in the way. Hello, everyone. I'm starting off gradual. We're gonna start off gradual. I'm at like, I don't know. I 80%. I'd go 80%. It's still not great. I'm still eating far more soup than I would ordinarily choose to eat. I don't have a problem with soup, but soup for lunch and soup for dinner, or swallow mac and cheese like a bird. Though I can kind of swallow mac and cheese now. I can chew it like a person. I can eat some food like a person. We're getting there. We're a week in. I remember someone in the Discord was saying, and I saw in a comment that they're having 2 wisdom teeth extracted today. So wish Godspeed to that guy. If soup is old man food, that's fine. I am an old man and I have a hole in my jaw. So soup is what it is. I don't even know what I did with it. I just ate a snack pack. So the big boy snack pack, not even the little one, the big snack pack, because I basically have to be able to swallow it, just put it in and put it down. It means what's happening. Why the fuck did they call it wisdom? I always assumed they were called wisdom teeth because they came in when you were older, right? And they were fine. The other 3 are fine. Had 2 lowers pulled when I was 40. Yeah, my wife had hers pulled probably around the same time, and she got nerve damage. So her lower lip is part of her lower lip is numb forever. So I don't want to put that kind of worry on anyone else that hasn't had their wisdom teeth out yet. My other 3 are just fine. This one just had a giant cavity in it. It wasn't pulled out just because it was a wisdom tooth, and it was infected. So bonus. Yeah, scrambled eggs. Good old scrambled eggs. Soup doesn't count as a meal. That's the thing. Your body really doesn't feel like you've eaten after you eat soup. It just feels like you had, like, now when is the food? I had my soup, now where's my food? But it's all I get. So we eat our old man food and we deal with it. Jordan had his wisdom teeth out when he was 16. That's the way to do it. Snackbacks and milkshakes, that's me, 100%. They had to cut it in half and cut some bone out. It took him 45 minutes to get my tooth out. The dentist said that he had to go to his big drill. And in his words, he said, your roots are too strong and your bone is too hard. They broke that tooth up into tiny little pieces. And as such, it genuinely feels like somebody hit me in the jaw with a bat. But it's getting better. It's getting better. The secret is to have pasta into the soup. Really fills you up. Do you have to dunk your Oreos now? An Oreo would be too much chewing. I tried to eat a cookie. You know, Costco has those little plastic tubs of cookies. I tried to eat one cookie out of there, and that did not go remarkably well. There was too much chewing involved. Have you seen the RC Families video from the 404 meetup? I saw it popped up in my feed, but I haven't watched it because I was during editing at the time, and I was editing for about, I don't know, like 5 hours that day. I'm trying to get ahead on videos because I think I mentioned in a comment that I'm going to be at some Anime Impulse Anaheim Convention Center. That's where I get to go this weekend. And then it's so that's with the younger one. And then the older one's 21st birthday is Laughlin the following weekend. So I'm trying to build up content out in advance, and it's not working. I mean, it's sort of working, but it's not working. They didn't give me anything to flush my tooth hole. Yeah, they had to cut bone for sure. For sure. Did I mention that he broke 2 burrs and had to go to his big drill? Yeah. 2 burrs in the big drill. So, yeah, we're at enough. It's not a real thing unless we're wait. There we go. Back to 1, back to 2, back to 1. We did the thing. To anyone who asked what the theme is for the day, box. The internet loves an unboxing, don't they? Let me go to RC channels that shall remain unnamed and read the outside of the box. Nope, nothing to see here. It does say priority mail on a half peeled off label. Do you have any RGT or FTX crawlers? RGT and FTX are effectively non-existent here in this part of the United States. The only thing that we get close to that are stuff that's been recloned by, like, say, Red Cat. But RGT, RGT came out with, RGT's got a 10.2 clone that has, like, I'm trying to mentally picture what the body looks like. Anyway, one of those, you can look them up on AliExpress. To get one of those into the United States, even off of AliExpress, would be about $600. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So no RGT and no FTX. I'm going to have 6 teeth pulled and fitted for partial dentures. I'm only 40. Ew. How would okay. Good old BMFRC. He is familiar with the size and shape of this box. So indeed, you can order the whole thing all at once. V80, a servo that claims 45 kg, 625 ounces. That'll be interesting. It looks nice. HBS 45 kg. It's not a bad looking guy. The gateway to sporty is a tough one because them things is expensive. 3 drive shafts, intermediate bearing piece, UA1 chassis edition V2 carbon fiber. Is that like its hat? Is that a hat? I don't know what that is. Here's the big question. You've seen the video of this, the SO95s, but I don't believe I had the V2. Did I have the V2? Is the person that sent those in, are they around? Do they know if I had the V1 or the V2? There is a lot of oil inside the bag that the shock is in, so. I mean, that's the thing. I was so bummed when these didn't work when I first tested them because they are crazy smooth, and they have like a little fiber wiper down at the bottom. I guess I just need to know what the pistons look like to see if this thing is going to work. We'll pop a cap. Hopefully they come dry. They do. Yep, they may have indeed fixed it. Camera 2 will probably see down the barrel a lot better. They have changed to a 4-slot. Oh, if I move this stuff out of the way, I think I can go higher. Yeah, there we go. 4-slot piston. Is it just me, or does that piston look metal? Does that look like a metal piston to any y'all? Also retained by a nut. So, positive things are positive. These shocks look like they're going to work. We're gonna have working shocks. If I wanted parts from Knight Customs but don't own a printer, how would I get them? Justin, I would say you find somebody with a 3D printer. Because that was how I did it before I had a 3D printer. As a matter of fact, I didn't print these pieces. Somebody sent them in for me. It has the piece. You can't really see them. They're up in there. These were, somebody was like, "Oh, I have those pieces printed. I can send them to you." And I was like, "Cool," because I never would have done it. Let's be honest about it. Gearbox? Yes. Ooh, it's gold. I love gold. There's grease on the gears in there. There's grease on the gears. Whoa. Gold fasteners? Fancy. Oh, yeah. You don't get to see gold nitrided M3 hardware very often. Extra bonus. One more should be the motor. S12 1900. Ought to be right about right. Got to make sure I'm not falling behind. The V1 is worthless. The top cap would not stay at attention. Oh, yeah. I have them right here in a drawer. So, I did the test on these. And is this the one with oil in it? No. One of these has oil in it. And if you put any oil in it at all, they immediately hydrolock. Because the piston can't move. They use pistons with holes, and the E-clip completely covers the holes in the pistons. Now, once I get a better look at the V2s, oh, it even says V2 on the body. Yeah, they are different. I can figure out how to make these work because I have all the options. They come with so many springs, and I would love to be able to use those if I can. And I guess the big part of this is the axles. Back up. Servo mount, battery mount, big offset thing. Yeah, they're not fooling around with these. So this will take us to 2 sets of offset Capra. Brass hexes and everything. That doesn't feel too bad. The hardware doesn't look too bad either. I'm feeling reasonably positive. And it's a nice box. JDA, it's all Rhino. Everything's Rhino. And we're gonna have the overflow, like they threw, I think there's Rhino, we got an MIP status, there's Rhino stickers in every package. Everything's Rhino. The speed control, the servo says RC timer. I don't know. But the shocks are Rhino, the axles are Rhino, chassis Rhino. It's Rhino all the way down. And building a sporty is crazy expensive. So this is the kind of crazy expensive level that I'm okay with. Oh, it is. It is a hat. Yeah, there's the real crazy part about it. There's not a lot. Whoa! 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 Yeah. I don't even think I can break this. This is outside my capacity. 4mm. 4mm carbon. And of course, as one would expect, we are left to our own devices. There are no. There's nothing. You figure it out on your own. Yeah. Where's the rest of the chassis? Well, I think I know which ones are the rear lowers. So we've definitely got those. This should be fairly straightforward. I mean, I will, of course, as is in my nature, get something wrong. We're going to get something wrong for sure. Because I'm just going to have to guess on placements. Yeah, I don't know if... I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Spain's, that's unbreakable. This would be, it would be really hard to break that. That's a lot of laminations. Oh, this is the best bag ever. Look at all the gold. I love gold. If you can hang for a week or so, I'll have some content for you waiting on a 1K TBL ProTech. Yeah, that wasn't expensive, was it? To get that? They're giving those away, yeah. Not expensive at all. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Is there 8? Why is it? Why? Okay, 8. We've got 8 curvy ends. So, I'm going to guess offset lowers, straight uppers. We have rod ends C and rod ends A, but no rod ends B. We have a bunch of spacers and M3 nuts. And this is like when you get one of those kits to mount your TV to the wall. You get the big thing of screws all attached together in order. 10, 16, 20, 25, 30. Nice. Bunch of standoffs. Yeah, my only question would be, if I were to issue a question, it would be, where do we put the offset links and where do we rod ends and where do we put the straight rod ends? What exactly is a sporty? So a sportsman is like trying to get as close to the performance of a motor on axle. Like, clearly, it's not going to look like anything normal or real. It's got the carrier. So there's gonna be 3 drive shafts on this because it has an aluminum alloy carrier, and I'm gonna figure out where that goes. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna piece it together. I could go to the internet. There's instructions online. All right. I'm not ashamed. eBay RC timer. Oh, okay. So, does RC timer? I'm wondering who's related to what. Because RC timer sells Rhino. So one must own the other. UA 1. Rhino RC did a video. I'm not watching a video. Assemble guide. Aha. They are horribly misleading though. Dang it. That's not what I wanted to hear. I need the basic stuff. What rod ends go on what links, and like what holes. Where does the carrier go right side up? Does the carrier go upside down? Where does that carrier? It goes like that. I just need the basic stuff. Oh, this isn't bad. I'm on a site from Hong Kong. This seems at the very least usable. You putting links up for the sporty? I got it on AliExpress. It was a seller. I dug and I managed to find a seller that I'd bought from before. So I felt reasonably confident about. Oh, look at the wheel nuts. The froggy green. Sit. Okay, some of the pictures are a little misleading. I can't. From the picture, it looks like we're oriented thusly. I think. They don't show it from the side. Okay, it looks like it's aiming. It looks like it's coming at camera. Oh, we should have gotten. You know what? Let's be responsible. Let's be a little bit responsible. Okay, those are the screws for the carrier. We'll keep that together. This is gonna go tragically, but we're going to we're gonna see what we can do. You're better off looking at pictures on YouTube videos and then doing it your own way. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I would put it with the curve aiming back. Excellent. I had a sweet crawling day today. I put it in a spot that requires a 2-hour drive to get there. Well, the thing is, the absolute closest place that we have to crawl outside of, my yard right over there is about a 35 minute drive. And I don't want to do that. So I'll put in the labor, I guess. I can't imagine 2 hours. But I did have a guy tell me on a video, so many moons ago, that where he lived in the UK, it was like 3 hours from to a quarry. He was like 3 hours from a quarry, and that was the nearest place that he could go to crawl. And I was like, dang. Because, local to me, it's sand and big round river rocks. I think they're finally building the Costco down the street. I have my fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that they're building the Costco down the street. Because when they're dredging the ground, they dig down so far, and then they take everything and they run it through the big sifty machine. There's piles of massive round river stones, 20-foot high piles of them. I want them all. Oh, I have to say I didn't get there just for crawling. Why would you ever need to leave the canyon to go crawling? Well, I don't. But prior to building it, there was nothing. There was nowhere. Okay, first complaint. I'm going to complain about Rhino now. I understand it. We opted here for silver axles because they're going to get all messed up anyway. But I understand that they apparently only have one spec on the risers, so they're black. It's fine. It's fine. Assembling the servo mount. I can do that. I can do that. Ooh, more nuts. More green nuts. Now, yeah, see, this is something that if I didn't see a picture on the internet, I would be completely lost as to how to attach that. because it looks like it goes right there, and I guess it could. They've made a dual adapter, but it goes there. That's thinking with portals. Somebody is thinking with portals. We are going to have screws everywhere. Oh, I'm not going to have a... somebody has to be thinking it. Somebody has to be thinking the thought I'm thinking. I am not going to have a battery small enough for this thing, am I? I'm going to have to buy one of those ridiculously tiny, like 380 batteries or something. The battery tray's half the size of a package of Tic Tacs. Well, the guy BMFRC's got one. What you running? What are you running in there? 3-bolt for the servo mount to the axle. You got it. You got it. I see how the... Oh, yes. Does the image show 3? No, the image shows 2. I already see where the third one. I see what you're going for. Yeah, because the servo's going to yank that thing around, isn't it? I don't know why I'm not using power. We're just kind of mellow here. Being in central London, I just wait until after midnight and go roaming on the street, loads of parks and stuff, just got to avoid the drunks and stabby people. I mean, hopefully, yeah. Avoid as many stabby people as possible. $600 milliamp 3S. I've got Rainbird's battery. I can borrow Rainbird's battery. That's a 3S 450. Yeah. 280's too small. 280's ridiculous. If you assemble link riser and battery mount, please use M3x10s. Okay. All right. This is straightforward. I'm all right. Just joined. The first thing I heard was yank that thing around. It is gonna yank that thing around. Okay, we gotta start allocating. We gotta start moving bags. We'll just shove them all in the China box that everything came in. Otherwise, the whole bench is gonna be covered in bags. Is this getting the extreme routes? Absolutely. 100%. They're right up there, all the way at the top. So this goes like this. And this goes. This one is not handily, so we know which. Oh, let's put in some sauce, purple sauce. We're gonna try to avoid missing any purple sauce so that this thing doesn't self-disassemble. Yeah, actually, looking at that tray, that little 450 will fit for sure. So that's not going to be a problem then. I'm not a fan of running batteries that small. He can only make it to the end of a video on that battery because he's so light. It should definitely be small enough. Everything on axle. Yeah, that is a... Okay. It said use M3x10s. Because those definitely bottomed out. Did they update that halfway through and somebody didn't know? Yeah, this thing's made for a 450, isn't it? Yeah, that M3x8 gets plenty of bite. He was right. He said that those instructions will lead you astray, and they already did, because there's no way those 10s were working, and the 8s went in just fine. 6581 driver shaft to gearbox. Hey, step 5 has the words that I needed to hear. It's telling me what rods to put the curved ends on. Runs an 850 and a 1500. How do you get a 1500 on here? Like, I've got the 450 from Rainbird, and like, yeah, I don't know. I might actually be able to run an 850 on there. Although 850 big, 850 real big. And I guess if it clears the tires, but I can always order another. Like, these things were, that battery was like $12. I can always just get another 450. I'm not averse. Will having a super capable Sporty with those amazing tires spoil all your other crawlers? No, I don't think so. Did you get the glass syringe for oil I sent? Absolutely not. I would remember. I would remember that. Do you use 3D printer much? As little as possible. If I can go through a day and not use that thing, that means it's a good day. Me and 3D printers, we don't get along. It has printed out some pieces recently that went trouble-free, so that was nice. But for the most part, frustrating, generally frustrating, because it isn't anything to do with the 3D printer. It is everything to do with the act of 3D printing, which is press the button and then wait to find out if it's going to fail or not. So small prints I'm absolutely fine with, and I do need to print some of the Irwin stuff, so I will be doing that. But it's not something that I get up and look forward to. Okay, the image that I'm looking at on the internet is definitely a screw pin, and these are set screws. So we'll see how it goes. In that plastic tub. Not in the bucket. I said not in the bucket. Amazon shows it on the porch by the red shovel. Red shovel? Oh! It was delivered today. Well, then that's why I don't have it. If it shows it is on the porch, it's still on the porch. I thought you meant you'd send it some time ago. I don't think it will, about ruining the things. I mean, I've seen a lot of the cheater rigs using front axle for mounting batteries. Yeah, pretty much every Sporty I've seen, that's what they do. These drive shafts, these little universal shafts, these are a trip. I'm gonna have to try to get camera 2 to zoom in on one of these. I feel like some of it is a little bit fancy. So you've got the end, the like button end, and then there. Look at how small. How small is that clip to hold that on? Please don't make me ever have to rebuild one of those. That's all I'm asking. Just don't make me have to try to rebuild one of those. I would not like it. Use curved link ends on 60mm. So all the curved link ends go in the front. Assemble 60 millimeter and 95 millimeter length to front axles. Oh, that's clever. So the second set of links is the same length as the shocks. Okay, all right. Somebody did some thinking. Important note, should you happen to be building one of these yourself, when they say 60 millimeter, they do indeed mean the total, the total length. The rod itself is indeed 60 millimeter. We'll see how easy it is to bust these together. Too many gray names in the chat. It's always easy to put the first side on. I don't know how anybody else does this. That's how I do it. I can't really see from the picture. Maybe I can zoom in a little. I only see curved ones on those two links. Nope, they're curved on the 95 as well. Okay, front links are curved, rear links are not. There we go. There we go. I appreciate the performance of these types of builds, but honestly, I need a more scale-looking eye candy. I get it. I get it. But run your mental eye over the Canyon fleet, and it similar to the way I lived bike life, which was we want bikes that are a bit different. This is a thing we don't have. Like everybody, well, not everybody. I had definitely gotten hassled by a couple people. Okay, that's 83 millimeters long. So which ones are the length of a shock? 60 millimeter length link and shock length. Oh, there's different. Okay. 60 millimeter link length. So do they mean 60 millimeters eye to eye? No. These are all different lengths. Those have to be the rears. What have I done? Okay, so the two of them are just slightly different. That's a 55. That's a 60. It doesn't matter. I got to build all four anyway. So, I mean, I'm kind of the same to an extent. I think a crawler should look like something that exists in the world. But, you know, I think the one that I'm trying to avoid, if there's something I'm trying to avoid, it's motor on axle. Because I feel like motor on axle just, it power creeps too hard. Now you're trying to find something that will defeat anything. And then you're like, watch, I'll beat it with my motor on axle. You should change the camera so we can watch you fumble around. Does it show me fumble around? Yeah, that's kind of over here. I'm kind of fumbling around over here. I'm afraid to move that other camera because boy, did I mess it up last week. You want eye candy? I'm putting a Fordyce cab on the RGT. The Fordyce is not my cup of tea. I'll take the Phoenix over the Fordyce. And I understand when people tell me that the Phoenix isn't their cup of tea. I get it. As long as you're not putting a U-Tron on there, not if it's Reedy MOA. That's true. You could You could endeavor to build the world's least capable motor on axle by just outfitting it with Reedy. I don't know why anyone would do that to themselves, but you could. How close did I get? Those are the same. We same on those. This is so straightforward, and it is a kit of a level of completion. Ew. Lee Jordan with the what's the guy? Come and tell us your unpopular opinions. Something that you up till now you've been afraid to say. And then Lee Jordan says, I actually like the U-Tron. And then people just look at him quizzically. It's gross. It's gross. Top 5 of the bottom 5 is where I put the U-Tron. No one, I can't foresee anyone unseating the Proline Strike Force. But the U-Tron is the Red Cat Ridge Rock is the MOA the Canyon needs. Well, I mean, if you're in that battle to build the least capable motor on axle, I guess that'd be a good starting point. Wow, just eyeballed both of them. Not bad, not bad. But this link is about 85 millimeters, and these are about 78, give or take. So that isn't anywhere even in the neighborhood of the length of the shocks. Because this length has to be rear uppers, which is still kind of crazy, but I'm not a sporty guy. I don't know. I did it. Oh, I know those rod ends. I've seen these rod ends before. We're going to rock it. We're going to go with the kit. That water doesn't. Gross. Can't do. Oh, I can use the spinner for these though. I was gonna say I can't do my drill trick on these big curvy boys. We can do this. What is YouTube? Stop dropping frames. Just stop. So, okay, right about there. I need the camera to look right about there. Can we rotate? It's not great. I mean, it's imperfect, but and I can't zoom because it's an old iPhone. But it's better than looking at nothing, I guess. Because if I'm right, am I in frame? Nope. Really not. I'm not really in frame there either. That's it. There. Oh, let's give it a whirl. Let's see. I tend to play my cards too close to my chest, I guess. The worry that I have about these, I had bought the Rhino multi-pack, the one that's on Amazon. That's like $50, and you get like a lifetime supply of rod ends. This particular rod end, this one, that looks just like this, they thread on way too easy. Like, usually you need some sort of a tool to spin those on. So my concern with this particular rod end is that the plastic is just too soft, and those are going to get yoinked. But we'll wait for it to happen. Any opinions on the SSD rod ends on A-Main? Yeah, I've used the SSDs. Son of a... Why you... Going back to camera one. Someone just said, oh man. And here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. We're just going to call it BSS because because I don't want to say the whole thing. The entire thing is, I disapprove. I disapprove wholly. I'm as big of a fan of white paper nerdery as the next guy. Let's get all speculative. But you know what trumps white paper nerdery every time? Just go do it. Just go do it. Put the part on the vehicle. Take it outside. Wheel it. Do you notice an improvement? There is no such thing as a super optimal setup. It doesn't exist. Because you might drive one setup better than another because it suits your style of driving better. But, I mean, the denial that anti-squat is effective is just comical. Absolutely comical. Because anyone who's ever set up a suspension geometry in their life can tell you that you can make a change, and if the change is significant, it's noticeable the first time you start to wheel it. As soon as it goes up the first climb, you go, yep. The idea that anti-squat is not a thing is tantamount to saying that link position doesn't matter. Because I don't know if you can say link position matters and anti-squat doesn't work and them not conflict with each other. This is the all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful again. Either link position matters and anti-squat is a thing, or link position or anti-squat isn't a thing and therefore link position doesn't matter, except for clearances. But we'll all agree that the relationship between the length of the upper link and the lower link is important. You can't just, well, maybe it isn't, because these are the uppers and these are the lowers. But this guy doesn't follow the same rules. Follows his own rules. That guy screams, I got my degree, but I've never worked a day in the field. Remember to chuck those springs in the bin. What springs? What did I do? Oh, got it. I meant that connection. I'm over here. Like, where's the head? It was like, and then right as it went over to get me, I caught it. I sat through the 30 minutes of suffering of that video because I wanted to see something. I wanted to see anything. And then at the end of it, he goes, I personally run no springs, but with negative springs. And I was like, there it is. There it is. I don't know how to tune suspension, so I'm going to put rubber bands on it. Why would you want to get me all fired up? We're not even an hour in, and now I'm all... What do you expect from a guy who thinks you're not doing it right if you don't have your wife's hair ties strung all over your rig? That's fair. How did you know I work for BSS Construction? So recently I got a Rhino ESC and I want to go download the programmer and the site's gone. Jolie, you can use any BL Heli. If you go to the website, there's a website called Secure, SEQURE Mall, and scroll down to the bottom. It'll say like AM32 and something down at the bottom. You can download the 1.7 BL Heli and the 1.82 BL Heli. I know when I was downloading the BL Heli suite for the first time, it was incredibly hard to find, and I don't know why. I'm sure the drone people are just like, oh, it's right over there. You just get that. I was looking the internet far and wide to try to find that software, and I've been using the same one ever since. But yeah, there's nothing specific to Rhino about the software. It's just BL Heli Suite 1.82. I'm sure that there's download links for it all over the place that I'm just not smart enough to find. And then the worst part, to compound the worst part on top of the worst part, I have to have it installed on my tiny little baby Acer, My First Play School toy notebook. And it doesn't have WinZip on it, so I have to re-download and then delete WinZip free every 3 weeks. To anybody who's an IBM person, how do you survive? How do you survive? How does your OS not just know how to unpack files? Oh, he's ranting again. AKA skateboard. Yep, there it is. Hey, Crawler Life is heading to the mountains. Nice. Good morning, Mike. How do I find y'all on Discord? If you click on the channel logo, the Crawler Canyon channel logo, it'll take you to the page. And then where it says about, it says more. If you click more, it will bring the drop down that shows all like the channel statistics of like how many videos, how many views. And it has the link to the Discord and a link to something else. I keep reminding myself to add the link to the tire tests, and then I always forget. So one day I'll try. Anybody taking advantage of the holiday sales? Not me. Is anyone getting an Arm of Fury? No. 7-zip. Oh, the other sock coming in with the info. That guy worked for the Big S Bike Company. We can say it's Specialized. We can say it. Specialized business practices are the second worst in the world. No, I take that back. They are in a virtual tie with Trek. For people who don't know bicycles, Trek operates on what is basically a predatory business model. It's bad. Trek kind of hates bike shops and the people that ride bicycles. Specialized tried to sue a cafe because it was called the Roubaix Cafe, and they have a bike line called the Roubaix. Despite Roubaix being, as I'm sure a bunch of you are in the chat know, is a region in France, right? Roubaix. So they were like, but that's just a word. You can't just like trademark that word, Roubaix. That's a place. People live in Roubaix. So that's the kind of corporate stuff you have going on. So basically, that guy having an association with Specialized, that explains a lot. It really does, especially to a bike guy. Over there on the rack is a Ritchie, which was built up from parts. I even do my bikes from kits. I've got a single speed, which I built up completely from parts. And then my only bike not built up from parts is my Cervelo, my dentist's bike. And yeah, not a Specialized guy, not a Trek guy. None of the guys at the bike shops are Specialized guys or Trek guys either. Trek is the Tesla of bicycles. Is that okay to say? I feel like that's okay to say. Just because you got fancy stretching machine and some uncomfortable, you think you know what you're doing. That guy just disturbed me. Yeah. Win 7-zip. You know what? Yeah, those are fun. This is the problem with old whiteboards. It's been on there for a week. Win 7-zip. Got it. I'm going to need that because my WinZip thing is going to expire momentarily, and then I won't be able to unpack files again. I got to we the people. Oh, so you're a little tire guy. That's the BMX guys. That's the free agent, and that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, they're gone, long gone. Still got my Specialized SX frame with RockShox boxers on. Well then we're talking about different companies. If you have vintage Specialized, that's a whole different thing. It's like, think of Losi pre-Horizon, right? That would be Specialized. And then you've got Losi post-Horizon. Watered down, I guess. They do sell a what? What is that? $14,000 e-bike? That e-road bike? Is it 14 or 16,000? The top of the line Specialized e-bike? That's a thing. Yeah, 20-ish-year-old downhill rig, yeah. And as Rudy, I'm sure, can tell you, that bike doesn't exist. Once the industry moves on from a bike, my sister-in-law had a Scott, and it was built like XTR from tip to tail. And because all of the stuff was old, the old hydraulics, the old calipers, the old everything, If you take that bike to a bike shop, they can't do anything for you. They have no parts for that. The only thing they can do is take the parts off and replace it with newer parts that will last 1/8 the lifespan of the parts that came on the bike. I've had a lot of Treks. Currently selling my 2009 Madone, which is an almost new. Costs 2,100 pounds. Will probably go for 300 pounds. Yeah, it's we have shops here, particularly in Southern California, that are what I call Trek stores, because again, that predatory selling model that Trek has, Trek won't let stores carry other brands. Like a Trek store won't sell Specialized, or they won't sell Cervelo, or they won't sell, like they can't sell together, because that's how Trek works. And Trek also, you have to buy an X number of models per month, whether you sell them or not. It's kind of like being an auto dealer. Yeah, I can't get brake pads for my Hope M4s. Yeah, because they're gone. They're gone. Like, the bike industry does not look back. My road bike has got Ultegra 6700. Ultegra 6700 is gone. Like, I can find brake pads because they're just the center mount for a caliper brake, for a rim brake. But if you look them up, like even Shimano doesn't acknowledge that they exist anymore. Oh no, we're up to like Ultegra 9000. Yeah, that thing you have, you're mistaken. You don't actually have that thing. That's a thing that never existed. That's the whole bike industry.
Do you have hopes on the Richie?
Yes. Get the feeling. You know what we'll do? We're not going to wheel it. So we're just going to make sure the parts are tight. And we are going to put these... Oh, now I see why it was loose. I just tightened the bottom cap with no springs on it. Traxxas, same difference. Yeah. Traxxas. Yeah. I'll go with that. I won't argue that at all. They make a fine product. Both. Their business practices are both. Yeah. Traxxas. Yeah, I'm with the Traxxas comparison. So many springs. We'll just dry build the shocks, because it's not gonna matter. Traxxas, I like that.
They claim either or.
Put some springs on here. Feel nice. Would have been. I mean, how much machining is involved to cut the little notch in the spring cup, so that you don't have to take your whole shock apart to take the springs off. They are crazy smooth. I got to give them that. If I can get this set to work and I can get the other set to work, I will be quite pleased about that. Let's just do one better than motor on axle. Outrunners for wheels. Yeah. Just wrap some stuff around them. So is it a Rhino crawler shafty? Yes. Are we going to get a servo test and a quick view on the V2 shocks? We could. I mean, we can definitely get a comparo between the V1 and the V2, because it does, at least from here, not having tried to put oil in one yet, it does look like they fixed what they got wrong with the V1s. And I can make my own pistons, so that's not a problem. We might as well put all four of these together. We're already here. It'll get another plastic bag out of the way. Then I won't have to do it when I get to the if and when I get to the rear axle. Hey, Brorb. Not having to put oil on in these is giving me a lot less anxiety. Who needs oil anyway? Like damping. We don't know. I mean, I'm doing it wrong. We all know I'm doing it wrong. I'm not putting one spring on here. I'm putting two. So clearly, based on BSS, Bonita Creek asks, did you ever get those nice-looking Rhino Crawler shocks that leaked really crazy fixed? No. I was waiting for them to fix them. And then I will implement what they have done, hopefully, into the other ones to get them to work. Because they are a good-looking shock, and they do feel very smooth. They just really go south when you try to put oil in them. There's a chance, there's like a, where are we at? Yeah. At this point, there's an easy 50-50 chance that we can put power to this. All in one, yeah, there's so little here. There's no body mounts. Are you mounting those? Oh, 100%. Am I mounting them upside down? Yeah, absolutely. Without question. Keeps going to sleep. They have them right set up. They also have them built the other way. That doesn't make sense to me. I put them together in this way because it seems like it makes more sense with the short spring at the top. That way the collar never gets down here where it tries to fall off the body. The picture has them assembled the other way with the big one here and the short one here. That's not the way I would do that. I don't think that's, I'm going to go on record and say I don't think that's a good idea. Ordered some oil slick chavs. Hopefully they all match. Yeah, that should be fine. Are those F10 axles? No, these are offset Capra. These are Rhino axles. Where are you? There you are. Just got discharged from the hospital after a mountain bike accident, and I hear bike talk. Yep. Was it a Trek or a Specialized? Yeah. All of the mountain bike guys that I know are all on some kind of whiz bang special mountain bike. I don't know anybody that rides a Trek or a Specialized. I need the longer ones. This is how it has to go. This is how it has to go. It can't go any way other than this way. I'm convincing myself. I'm talking myself into it. So I got a 9 iMod direct servo 70 kg on the way. I'm sure you've tested one. Any horror stories on 9 iMod? No, they're just loud. They're really loud. At least the ones that I've tested. I've tested 3. Like official tests, I think 2. But we've run 3, and they're all kind of noisy. They're not quiet. This doesn't, and I don't mean they're the servo. I do remember this from the test. They are not loud in like how a Savox is loud, how it makes a bunch of seeking noises. Like the 9i mod that I'm thinking of specifically, the Tranquish has a 9i mod 60 kg direct power in there. It has the loudest gear train of like any servo I've ever heard. It's just loud. But performance-wise, it's fine. Bit too quick, says Robert Webb. I haven't had the I haven't experienced too fast. But speed is a really relative thing. Like to fast to some is normal to others. I like about a 0.1. We were looking up the most expensive servos on A-Main yesterday to see who's up at the top. That limited edition brass Reefs is way out there. $230. And I was sitting And I was trying to think of a conceivable situation where I think that a $230 servo would be warranted, and I couldn't think of it. I couldn't think of it. Has anyone else lost sound? No. Well, it says I have sound going out, so my mic levels are moving. I have filled and built 115 millimeter Desert Lizard sedan mounted with my F9 equipped Injora R1 clone. Nice. Do you happen to have any idea where I can get a set of aluminum chassis rails with the same layout as the Injora TRX4 carbon fiber kit or close to it? Nope. If I was in that situation, I would lay the carbon fiber rail on a piece of aluminum, I'd trace it, and I would cut them out. China has access, apparently, to all the carbon they want. So it's almost rare to see aluminum chassis come out of China in flat plate. They're all carbon. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this. I gotta have something. It's nothing but, unless they're in a different bag that I haven't noticed, all of the retainers for the drive shafts are set screws. And I really, really, really prefer a pin. So we're going to see if we can't use a Traxxas pin. All my other bikes were from Walmart. Nothing wrong with a Walmart bike.
Bike is a bike.
Bike's a bike. Get you where you're going. I try to tell people that as a person that has some experience and some time spent in the saddle, most any bike will get the job done for you. Where the bike starts to take over in terms of importance is the longer you try to go. You know, I wouldn't recommend that you try to ride your first Century on an $88 bike from the Walmart. But, you know, if you're cruising around town, hanging out with your kids, you don't need a fancy bike. We don't need this stuff. This stuff in bikes is a direct parallel, right? You can get away with a UTB 18 with nothing done to it and have a great time. But we end up doing stuff like this. Not because we have to. I've only seen 10.2 and TRX4 frames from China. Yeah. And then in LCGs, it's, like I say, whatever it is, it's carbon. Rhino used to make those rails in aluminum. Yeah, that's true. You could get these. Yeah. With the, like, splash anodization on them.
Try eBay.
I wonder where Jay Leeson's sound is going. It, like, goes and then it comes back. Yeah, aluminum chassis rails. Like, there are people asking me if I can do carbon rails, and I'm like, can I? Yes. Will I? No. I don't. I make a concerted effort not to mess with carbon. It's filthy, terrible to work with. Assembled gearbox to UA1 chassis. Oh. But how is that held on? Is there Majike?
Did you open them to see if there's grease?
Oh, there's a ton of grease in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I'm trying to read the chat and I'm trying to open this Ziploc bag that's not a Ziploc bag at the same time. And I'm just yanking on it, thinking, man, you've gotten really weak as this episode has gone on. So so I get to use this somewhere else because they give you this and apparently you don't use it. You use these. Yeah, wow. It's crazy. Nope. Yep. Okay. And then the gearboxes are on that side. Yes. Oh, but this one is a Ziploc. Got my Mojave Grom today. I blew a front CVT doing donuts for 5 minutes in the same direction on concrete. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, those are the good ones. If you mess it up and you know why you did it, there's just something that you go, oh, okay, that's fine. It's certainly better than when something just decides to self-disassemble on you, and then you're like, what happened? I'm not saying that I had that working on the FJ yesterday, but I absolutely had that working on the FJ yesterday. That was not a relaxing session of toy cars. I'm glad that that was just for me. Okay. Um. Um. Oh. Got it. The pictures are genuinely helpful, but I will still try to mess it up. Make sure. Yeah. Okay. If it takes a little longer, but I don't have to take it apart 3 times, that is a success. Oh, Andre calling it early this week. I've had another really busy week and I'm struggling not to fall asleep. I'm going to have to let you go, as one says. Yeah. I have to let you go. He'll be back. I don't mean, I'm not saying he'll be back today. I mean, he'll be back. He'll be back at some point. I'm just jazzed about the free center chassis. The other skid is for the overdrive gearbox, if I remember correctly. There you go. Oh yeah, there's it's just. Well, we're gonna see how this guy goes on whatever it is. It's not a problem. It's Capra's. I've got overdrive gears here already. I'm remembering who I am. Well, now I just want gold hardware and everything. All gold hardware all the time. Assemble lower link to UA1 chassis. You got it. You got it. Maneuver. This one here. That goes there. This goes here. Now I do wonder. They said 12.9 on them. They say they're graded, so we're gonna take them. We're gonna take them at their word. I'm just trying to make sure that the picture that I'm looking at and the picture that I'm looking at is exactly the same. How much was this sporty kit, and do we have a link? $598. $598. Call it $600. I can't remember. It was about $600, which is he's looking it up. About $600, which is I think a steal because if you went on Amazon, this is $140 for this. I don't know about the price of the servo. The axles are not inexpensive if tried to buy separately. The shocks. You definitely get your money's worth on the kit. I mean, I think they sell this part on Amazon for $20 just for this piece. $615 out the door. Yes, Sam Stevens, do indeed post that in the Discord because we want to see. Any home. This is the opposite of a DIY. For sure. That's clever. That's clever. Somebody asked, rear lowers outside the chassis. I don't know. I'm just going step by step. We're gonna. Ooh. little carbon that didn't get cleared out of the bottom of that hole. Little flash on there. Gold nuts too? Oh man. That is fancy. I don't think gold nitrided nuts are a good idea for me because it makes me not want to scratch anything, and I'm not precious with these things. They're gonna get scratched up, and I'm gonna be the guy that does it. How about if I okay. You know what? You know what we need to do today? Okay. Let's pick this one. I'm not gonna use it. No. How about one of these little R's? Yep, there we go. Okay. That's about center frame. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so we'll go right there. Okay, we're gonna go right about here. There we go. That'll work. I am gonna make an effort to move my crap over and, like, I don't know, do something that people can see. Hey, look, I'm doing things. Because otherwise, it's just the disembodied voice with hands. It wasn't even hands before. Oh, I did kind of just push everything into a knot, though. It's fine. If you're here, you've certainly come to know what to expect. I just got the S20 and 80, and it seems to run hot. Just driving flat ground 10 feet, it gets warm. 2200 on 3S. My first question to Schlappo Matt: did you take the plastic? Did you cut this off? Because this is you don't leave that on there. I don't leave that on there. I don't run any of them with it on there. So that's first question. I'll wait. I know that's not right. I know a lot of folk don't take that part off, and that's going to make things hot. Man, I hope I'm putting the right links in the right places. That's the part that I'm still questioning. New Zealand's Maori name translates to the land of the long white cloud. It's all flat, known as the land of the long white dotted line. Oh. But it's the motor getting warm. 836.38 to Canada, but it's free shipping. Well, that's just conversion, right? Because I was looking up a fancy Canadian gearbox for the FJ40, and that thing is $295 Canadian, which is $220 US. So yeah, that's right. 290 would be 900 Canadian would be about 660 US. Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah, so yeah, they're not charging you more. It just costs more because of Canada. The carrier, well, that's wonky. That's wonky. We'll rock it. Rhino crawler faces towards the back. Okay, like this. I guess that's right. Nothing about... Ugh. That gearbox... Oh, I set it in my... Yeah, I did that. The motor is getting warm. Oh, yeah. Slappo Matt. I was halfway through a thought. Undergearing can be as bad as overgearing because motors don't like to be spun out. If we were to take this and power it all up together and I were to just hold it by the wires and just on the bench, it would get hot. That motor would get hot. I'm not a physicist, engineer, scientist, so I'm not 100% sure why. But we learned this with in-runners as well. that if you under-geared on a go-fast rig and you were pinning it and it was at wide-open throttle too often, the motor would get really hot. And then sometimes you could go up in your pinion, go up like 2 teeth, and it would automatically start running cooler. Which I realize is counterintuitive because we're not ordinarily told, oh yeah, it's running hot, well then put a bigger pinion on it. But here we are. Anyone here do the construction RC stuff? Ugh. So do I appear to be independently wealthy to you? Like a front end loader is like 14 rock crawlers. Yeah, Slappo. My rule of thumb is unless it's something set up for trailing, and this is also not taking a 2-speed into account, but if you have a single-speed gearbox on a vehicle, I like it wide open, like pinned. I like it to be about like a brisk walk, like a fast walk. So 4 miles an hour or so. If it's faster than that, it's too fast. If it's much slower than that, it's also too slow. So I gear for that final speed more than perhaps anything else. AliExpress portals on an Endura 3 gear with the stock, it's probably geared low. Yeah, that's going to be really low. Yeah, Sparks is the only one I've seen do construction RC as well. I find with brushless getting hot, the drag brake is often set too high. Doing nothing sitting still can be actively holding still. Yeah, that's true. When you're back to 1. When your rig is like this, sitting on the front of a hill, like, I'll just pause in a video and talk for a while it's just hanging like that. That motor is energized to keep it in that spot all the time. Now, it's not taking a lot of power to do that because the vehicle in itself is not trying to move, but it is still under power. My phone keeps going to sleep. Oh yeah, we're doing this. The one in the picture says Rhino Crawler, and this one says Rhino RC. We've got a newer one or an older one. I don't know. Wow, the fitment of these drive shafts on here is tight. Yeah, I'm just changing them all to Traxxas. I mean, I don't know what it is. Something about this thing, but I feel like I'm gonna break this thing. The first time I drive it, I'm gonna try to do my normal Hoonigan nonsense. Yeah, Traxxas pins are perfect for these. For anyone remotely interested. Oh, okay. I need more. We're gonna find out over time, slowly, how many pieces I dragged through the purple thread lock as I stick my hands in it and make myself gooey. It's going to be fun. But who's to blame? When you point at somebody, there's 4 fingers pointing back at you. I don't know what pieces it's on. It's purple. It's not on my hands, you dumbass. I said it's going to be on my hands. I didn't say it was on them now. Woo! I know this has got a mid-bearing on it, but that is a wacky angle that thing is living at. Are these the Rhino axles that Holmes complained about in a recent video? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they are. That doesn't dissuade me at all. What springs are popular for Traxxas 90mm shocks? Mine came with green and seems way too stiff. Yeah, green are way too stiff. The beauty of the GTS is you can use any spring that you want. You can use axial, you can use element, you can use Traxxas, whatever you would like. buy the ones that are the rate that you need. GTS have threading for the preload basically all the way down the body, so you can run the big long axial 70 millimeter springs like from a Capra. You can run the shorter incision springs from Vanquish. You can run on a GTS. You can pretty much run whatever spring you want. So shop by rate, not by brand. Buy the brand that has the rate that you need. I don't know what your rig weighs, so I couldn't give you a ballpark, but that's not true. I would say in between a pound and a half is where you're usually gonna. Well, okay, let's say between a pound and 2 pounds is where you're gonna be looking for. GTS Traxxas green is 2.6. You would probably want Traxxas whites or element grays or element greens or Vanquish reds, incision reds. Does this kit have center or machined gears? I would have to pull it apart, but I'm going to assume. Are they centered in the axles? I'm going to assume machined in the axles, because while they're not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, the spoilers. Hey, you're here. You're the loyal 111. The gears that are in here are machined, so with separate spools and everything. So I would assume that in these they would be. Yeah, those are fine. The $100 Amazon ones are fine. Just from the look of the machining, I gotta say these are nicer. I mean they're really quite. I can feel that there's grease in there. I can tell that they greased these. Now, are these machined or sintered? That I can't say. Luckily, we have Amazon, so it's about $40 to put all machined. And if this, I'm going to have to pull it apart at some point. I'm going to have to pull apart the portal boxes and the full axles because I want to see what's in there. And if it doesn't come with overdrive or underdrive, I'm going to have to put in my own overdrive or underdrive. I have a set of gears that I should be able to fit in here. I know I have a set of machined, but I don't have any overdrive, underdrive. I would probably just go with the 20% overdrive in the front, depending on its speed. That's kind of why I want to see it in box configuration, literally out of the cardboard box, to see what I think it needs and or doesn't need. I have secondary complaint. Rhino. The screws that carry the that hold the intermediate, that hold the bearing carrier on. Why aren't those gold? Where's my gold at? I need more gold. Let's sleep again. Are they curry nice? Easy now. Easy now. Assemble bent link and shock to rear axlex. And that's exactly how it says, AXLEX. I think if this is someone, to whoever asked, so wait until you see how they want these attached. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I want to get the $109 flavor Capra axles with the Vanquish Silver aluminum finish. Like I say, they're not terrible, but they're not great either. They're not the best, because you are almost certainly going to have to replace the stub axles with the $25 set of stub axles, the 5mm stubs. It might have been something more unique. There they are. It might have been something more unique to the ones that I got, but mine were basically frangible. I bent or broke those axles immediately. Nope, that's not upside down. That is.
And axle shaft.
Yeah, but that video hasn't happened yet. So I haven't broken anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't I try not to go into oh wait, before I miss. You better be machine for how much a shafty costs. This shafty, go to Deluxe and see what it costs to build like an asylum. Um Yellow. The band of the spring. See, I almost missed that. Tracks, it refers to the band on the spring. Those are 1.6 pound. You'd probably be pretty okay with those, unless your rig is very light. Element greens are like 0.7, I think. Or is that SEs? That might be SEs. I know that element green is the softest of the full size element spring. And depending on your location, one will most likely be more available than another. I'll use whatever. You can also convert your GTS to run the small springs, DravTech style, the 10 millimeter springs, should you feel so inclined. There are a couple ways to go about that. Yeah, they want the link on the outside here. So we're not using that. We're putting a shock in there and that out there. I'm just if I'm being misled, we will find out in due time. Okay. There's are we curry nice. I have 3 sets of those Amazon axles. They're holding up good. Excellent. Most of the carnage is probably my fault to a degree. Oh, that's where we were going with. I try not to speak too ill of other channels except for that one guy that infuriates me. But I mean, Sparks was at it for so long that I guess he just had it. I remember I enjoyed to a tremendous degree the series of them moving across the country to where they live now. And then after that, I don't know, it kind of took a turn. And the beauty of the YouTubes is if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. So I just stopped watching. It was almost self-solving. But yeah, it got weird. It got a little weird. Does the Canyon have the printer running? Because TNT has a whole slew of parts for fixing the Red Cat Ascent. The Red Cat Ascent has been gone forever, dude. I traded it for a motor. There's nothing remaining in this building of Red Cat Ascent. And if another Red Cat vehicle never manages to darken my door again, I will consider that a personal victory. Life is too short. Life is too short to deal with Red Cat, and life is really too short to deal with the Red Cat Army. I mean, every point of engagement is nice and all, but no. Oh, I can definitely see in this pic. I put those things on backwards. Son of it, there it is. I wasn't looking up at the chat. Yeah, those links are on backwards. Luckily, it's easy to undo. Last video of this I watched, they introduced some other chick to the family. Oh no. Mm-mm. The only thing that get me is having to change sockets mid-tire change on my VRD. Get yourself. Hold on. I got it. I know where they are. I was spring cleaning again this morning. Get yourself. Head on down to wherever you like to buy stuff. SSD. These are the scale hubs. These are the M5, right? So they look like that. They use that little tool. They use this, the little castle head tool, that guy to take on and off. The M4s are identical. They use the same tool. They use the same everything. So this is the expensive but best option because you don't have to mess with it. And you never have to try to cram an M8 wrench down inside of a wheel again. And I bought these and I can't remember who they're for. Ha-ha! That's why they're in a box. When I remember who doesn't have them, they'll get them. But I already don't remember. Oh yeah, I was taking these off. Hold on, let me get to the chat again. Rear link is back. Yeah, I got to there. I went to junior high with RC Sparks. He was an odd guy. I think you were correct. And no one from the RC creator community has said nothing about it yet. Mr. B came from. And you got a motor and definitely got the better end of the deal. I told the guy that I sent all of the Ascent parts to that I felt like I was stealing. I felt like I was robbing him. Because he was either building, I can't remember, he was building another one, or he just wanted parts, or what have you. And he was like, what do you want for it? And I traded it for a big block brush motor. And I genuinely, when I say I feel like I got the better end of the deal, I really do. Like that's not lip service at all. And that was back in the days before Red Cat harpooned their own user base and came out with the Ascent Fusion. Which, if I had been an Ascent owner, I would have been furious. I would have been absolutely furious. MIP 8mm fits my Rhino wheels. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah, it's right here. It's still annoying. I'd rather use the scale hubs. And you've still got a switch. If I had unlimited funds and there was SSD hubs on everything in here, everything could have its wheels taken off and put back on with the same tool. It's just annoying to have to grab the M8. And then I say that after having put the bigger axles on the Cage guy just like not even a week ago. A week ago. So yeah, the M8 nowadays is getting used more than the M7. Did I do that? Yeah, we fixed it. It's fixed. But the Ascent is the most bestest ever. All the other channels said so. And you know what? If everybody's saying it, they must not be wrong. Oh, that's why there's gold nuts on there. I wasn't cheating ahead in the instructions. I was like, why did they put lock nuts? Come on, wake up for me. Why did they put lock nuts on those big long gold guys? I know they're gold and I love them, but these are a little long. So they are mounted to the inside of the chassis, the lowers, but they're on spacers and they're mounted to the chassis and not the part that the gearbox is mounted to. I think this is my last gold nut. No more gold nuts for me. Now I'm going to have to search the internet far and wide for bags of gold hardware so that we can match all the gold. I love gold! I got to find out what size spacer that is. I know it's smaller scale. What do you guys think of the recent FMS release? Is that the first RTR Outrunner? Well, that's not true. I was going to say I try, but I don't. 5mm spacer. Working on Wolverine, trying to shove my hands in that cage is still not as bad as trying to work on like 18th scale stuff. And I mean proper 18th scale stuff. I don't mean UTB 18, which is not 18th scale by any stretch of the imagination. M3 by 20 and a spacer and a lock nut. Yeah. You can just push them out. I kind of like their hardware. It's got like that metallic gunmetal-y gray color to it. It's nice. I don't ordinarily favor having to change my bits every 30 seconds, but this is fine. Did you see me dodge the thread lock? Because I did. If everybody is thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking. That's even better than if everything is awesome, nothing is. Fimonda have gold scale hardware for wheels. Nice. Red Cat definitely exchanges vanity for ability. Yeah. The whole Red Cat situation to me is just is mind-boggling, honestly, because they. I mean, I guess it's like gaslighting. They were like, now we're an option. They basically stood up one day and they were like, we're an option now. I know that you spend your money on other things, but have you considered a Red Cat? When there's no like why would you and the prices keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, and people will be like, oh well, you name something that gives you more performance for the same money, and I'm like, literally anything. This guy's like $400, maybe $450. I'll put this up against any Red Cat ever built, ever. And it was built with all the parts that I want. So, if cost is your end factor of determining how something good is, I think you're probably in for a bad time. Because there are some cheap things that perform well, and there are some cheap things that perform terribly. And holding their hand, there are some expensive things that perform well. The cost of something is not necessarily an indication of the performance. Never more true. Red Cat. Yeah, racing sells gold screws. I need to write that down. I'm with you, Mr. I fitted an axle that deals with the torque twist issue on the CR18PN. The 1 millimeter pins in the stub shafts. No! Just no. An absolute no. Yeah, the have a day button. I wonder if there's like a no. I mean, you can kind of tell by the look of the cardboard back. This has been around for a hot minute. And I was cleaning out a box of something, and have a day was in there. Have a day has been around for a long, long time. Like since probably I was a teenager. I probably saw it somewhere and was like, that amuses me. And then here we are all those years later. Whoop, whoop, Red Cat rant. Damn it. I fall for it every time. Every time. All I need to do is hear someone say Red Cat, and I'm like, who said Red Cat? Now, okay, now just flip it over. Just turn it over. Okay. Where to start here? What hole do you guys want me on? All the way up? All the way up. All right. We going all the way up. All right. All right, Rhino. Take it easy. Don't let BSS know. Don't do the rear upper link bolt. Don't the rear upper links bolt to the outside of the chassis. I'll tell you in a second. No. I had to scroll down 2 more steps. I'm not looking ahead. I wanted to all come as a surprise. I have to say, it is, it's future stuff. We're talking about the future again. I'm sure someone has noticed that there's been kind of an abundance of Wolverine content popping up on the channel lately, and that is because, as I said, those huge pins have been sitting in a drawer over there for months because I didn't have anything to run them on. The same with the Ibex, the same with a number of tires. So this thing, I'm kind of jealous of this, like, it feels like TPU. I'm kind of jealous of this, like, rubber hat because I'm just an ape. So I just took some aluminum and, like, pounded it into submission. I figured it should do the same thing because the top of his cage was absolutely getting moited. Rear link. Assemble 100 millimeter length screw to U1 chassis with 2 M20s and 2 spacers, same as before. No, yeah, they are to the inside. And they are to what hole? Way back. Fourth from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know explicitly the differences. So BSS does not approve of that amount of link rising. What I don't get about the whole Red Cat saga is how Hobbywing made them their own fusion combo and it was never used in anything ever again. Not only that, the fusion, what did they call it? It was they had a name for it. The Fusion LE, the Fusion Spec Fusion, whatever they called it. It was basically what here's what I think happened. This is speculation. I think Hobbywing had the parts laying around because the 1400 and 2300s from Spectrum, the Firma 2-in-1s, those were basically nerfed Hobbywing fusions. I think Red Cat got nerfed Hobbywing Fusion SEs. So Hobbywing was like, "Oh, you want us to make you an exclusive run of less capable Fusion SEs?" Absolutely. They were like, nobody's going to buy it, and they wouldn't sell it because they would have to sell it for less. No, it is not a rebadged SE because it is less capable. It is a less powerful BEC, and it has less programmable parameters. I think it only has 5 programmable parameters in it.
Didn't it cost like $120?
And if you want to buy one directly from Red Cat, it's like $120, which is why I've never tested the Spec Fusion, nor will I ever. Unless I find one like on the side of the road. Because I'm not paying almost double the cost of a Fusion SE for half of the capacity. It's the same reason I don't have a Firma 2-in-1. It has less specs and it costs more. Should have went with an ESC 70. The good old ESC 70. I guess that's right. I mean, I guess. It looks crazy. This whole thing looks crazy. I feel like that should be one whole... No, that's right. How is that drive shaft long enough? I'm skipping ahead because I'm filled with concerns. This drive shaft does not look remotely long enough. I gotta say, the tightment is fit on a lot of these things. That is... Pull. Oh, okay, no, all right. Still about an inch of engagement, that's fine. I'm just obsessive about it. ESC 70 rant. And I'll still, every once in a while, some poor unknowing soul will be like, "Are you going to try an ESC 90? And I'm like, no, never. It is one of the products, it is one of the aftermarket products with which I am more disappointed than any other thing I've ever tested. People raved about the ESC 70, and it was so unforgivably bad. And I ranted about it for so long that somebody sent me another one, and it was just as bad as the first one. Which implies to me that they didn't fix their mistakes. And worse than that, and as I point out every time when I rant about the ESC 70, if I had one that was demonstrably terrible and did not work under any circumstances, yet the one that you have works perfectly, is that not concerning to you? Because this implies some to near complete lack of quality control. How can a place push out one that does not work and one that is just fine? Take the Hobbywing Fusion SE. How many people do you know that have told you, "Oh yeah, my SE just didn't work right"? Like, basically nobody. And there are gajillions of them out there. Hobbywing just absolutely nailed it with that thing. They kind of priced themselves into a corner too, but oh yeah, I'm a boner. I'm a boner. So, I've been using Traxxas screw pins. We'll do this one correct. Well, there's one here. I've only found one. They use an M2.5. They use a big long 2.5 like that to go all the way through. I'm going to stick with the pins. If I break it, if it breaks a pin, that's on me. But I don't know. A shaft is stronger than a bolt. It's stronger. The strongest part of it is the non-threaded part. So I'm going to put the maximum amount of non-threaded part onto this. I will pay the fiddler if need be. What's wild is they didn't tell me to install the motor. We'll get to that. We'll do that. We'll do that at some point. Good old Traxxas pins. Perfect fit. BSS because he's extra full of S. Yeah, see, DRZRC is making things work. And if it works for him, there's no reason to change it. But I wouldn't recommend that speed control to an enemy. The Bluetooth slaving is some of the worst garbage I've ever seen. That speed control does not do anything not done by other speed controls, except occasionally not function correctly. The idea was that it was going to be a cheaper version, a cheaper replacement for a 1080, right? Well, we're still talking about brush motors, so how far are you going to get? I'd put an ESC 70s, which is also, ESC 70s also not waterproof. They don't even list them as being splash proof. The casing is plastic. It has no heat sink. It basically has nothing going for it. So I don't know. If people want to use them and they're having success with them, that's great. I'm not telling you not to get one. I just say that by me personally, they are strongly not recommended. If you're going to use a brushed speed control, we're apparently going to be waiting forever for Injora to come out with that 140 amp. So I guess our only choice is to buy 1080 G2s, which are fine. I don't have any problem with the 1080 G2. I have a bunch of one. Did you put thread lock on the prop pins? The beauty of the prop pins is that those are Traxxas, so they have that, I don't remember what it's called, but they put it on there, like they dip it in like a paint and it dries, and when you thread it in, it basically just thread locks together. Most of those pins are new because I have very few Traxxas vehicles or Traxxas axled vehicles actually running Traxxas drive shafts. So most of those, I don't think any of those pins have actually been used. Yeah, see, that's what I was worried about. Yeah, something. Do I need to move this back a hole? Is that supposed to be back a hole? No, I have it in the holes. This drive shaft does not attach. As soon as I put those together, the drive shaft fell apart. As soon as I raised it up to mount the shock, the drive shaft fell apart. Okay, and then it rotated. Okay, there we go. Keyed together. So, and I don't see how at full droop this isn't going to fall apart. That is definitely second hole out here in the back, right there. I'm going to see if I can get it to go without having it fall apart. Figure why put oil in the shock? We have to take the whole thing. I'm putting it together in a live stream to take it completely all apart off of a live stream. So, oh, Spain is headed to bed. That's an early night for Mr. Spain. It's probably only midnight. Huh. We're gonna go tweezums I can't reach. I just got the Mias nylon portals. The good news is the hex nuts don't capture the wheel hubs permanently. The bad news is that the front portal weights, the hex hubs rub on the portal weights. So you got the old portal weights. That is a known thing. Luckily, the any weight for an F10 portal will fit, or you can switch your hub, or you can file your hub, or there's a lot of options. I still have a couple of vehicles. I think the twins are still running them, the flat pancake ones. They really only like some hubs. I believe they're redesigning those weights. Python. No, I don't have any. We have one Furatech. Python X does brushless and brushed. Just don't try to switch between one and the other without changing the settings. Ask me how I know. I blew one up. Okay. I feel like where's the other drive shaft piece? Who hid the other drive shaft piece? Oh no, it's right there. That just does not feel like enough engagement. I don't like that. I should not be able to deflect that. I feel like I should be able, I mean, I think the easiest, well, let's see. Yeah. I think the easiest solution to this is just move the carrier back one hole. It still won't drop this drive shaft down enough to where it'll be whacking rock. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. You know what? We're okay for now. What am I actually worried about? There's no oil in the shocks. Whee! Mike is going back to sleep. We've got people going to sleep because it's nighttime. We got people going to sleep because it's daytime. Assemble 55 millimeter length and M12. Ah, you gotta love this, man. You gotta love this. All of the shock mounting is all done with the exact same size hardware. I appreciate this. They want it to the second whole front. Yes, Mias has the new brass for the Vanquish that fits their portals also. Correct. The instructions are merely a suggestion. Yes. And that's all I need. Just give me a guideline. I am curious though. We're getting to the point where I have a bunch of M3x25s and M3x30s and we haven't used them for anything and I'm running out of stuff to put on. Oh, I just noticed that these are 5mm stubs. I don't know why I didn't notice that earlier with the giant greenies. Where do they want the spacer? It said spacer. Shock to you. Oh, the shocks use the spacer. Wow. Wow. That is some lay down. Those front shocks are laying all down. All right. I feel like we're going to get close enough to where it's going to look like something here in just mere moments. Almost $700. I think they could provide a proper instruction manual. It's funny you should mention that. I'm trying to think of how many products I've received recently that had that came with no instructions of any kind whatsoever. This being among them. You would think that they could throw in just a little guide. Here's what you need to do. I guess that's asking too much. I mean, it's not, and it's, well, let's put it to you this way. The FJ40 instance yesterday was so much worse than what's happening right now. It was feeling like you're in the end times kind of stuff. And the internet was not helpful at all. I was yelling at my computer, yelling at everything. Same row. Right there. How does that not hit the battery tray? He asks. Pretty sure there's a manual on their site. I can't even find the Rhino site. I'm on dys.hk, and the website has a triangle with an exclamation point in the middle of it, which I assume means not secure. But so far so good. We'll see. They want second hold to the back. Second hold to the back. Okay, we're gonna put this guy on so that hopefully the drive shaft won't fall out. Yeah, the front drive shaft looks great. We should be almost assembled enough to where we can spin it around and not have it fall apart. I did say almost. All right, now if I actually flip that top one around, we can bolt it from this side. Because if you don't install that upper link first, you're not going to be able to get the shocks on. That upper link is crazy. Sporty stuff is crazy. Rhino ESC under downloads. I never think to search for Rhino ESC. I don't know why. Well, I mean, all of their stuff is emblazoned with Rhino RC, so maybe that's part of it.
That one's the U1.
UA1, yes. Irwin almost very nearly built. We are some lock nuts are born bad. They just like to fight. I mean, I know, like, a lot of manufacturers, they like to lay a rear shock down too much and don't lay the front shock down enough. This definitely goes opposite of that. Like, that front shock that's got to be 45 degrees, right? Oh, that feels so weird. The no damping feels especially weird. That rear drive shaft wants to fall apart. Like, look at the kink to it. I think there's, and yeah, that spacing and that spacing are exactly right. That's too short, right? That's got to be too short. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah. Yeah, the website that I'm on is just an unsecure copy of the one from Rhino ESC. All the cool kids are running mini E-Revo type bodies. Yeah. Holmes was right there with the axles. Irwin's right there with the axles Holmes doesn't like. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of leftover stuff. A lot. Okay, I have to assume that all of those big socket heads are to put these on because that is what we attach his magical hat to. Like that. His little hat. Attach his little hat. Oh, there's the question. Where do, Where, ooh. You gotta take your pick. You gotta take your pick. Which flavor of servo horn do you want? You got the all gold, but then you've got the black with the gold highlight. They're identical. Well, when I strip one out, I can replace it with the other one. And it came with a servo link, but the axle already had a servo link on it. It is also interesting to see a full height servo. Which is going to be fun to install with everything else put in. No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I wonder, do I have any gold washers left? Yes, I do. Oh, because it must be gold. We can at least put a servo on there to hold it in place. The last couple gold screws I have are definitely too long. We need like M3x8s. That's a shame. Dig into my own hardware. Are we calling this rig a Goldfinger? Goldfinger! Or Gold Member. There's always Gold Member. We do love gold. I'm going to put as much gold on here as physically possible. I think I actually might need 10s. No, 8s look fine. It's going to have to just keep reminding myself. It's going to have to be taken apart again. Don't sweat the details. How's the front pinion angle movement? I will attempt to show once we have the front axle not flopping around anymore. We'll get a horn on it so we can get it to hold in place. Come on. How about if there was any sort of standard in the industry and we could make a servo case just one size? Speaking of the FJ, I went through 3 servos before I found one that would fit. Like where the tabs go into the chassis rail. If you've ever seen how FMS does it, it's not okay. It's strange. Let's go all gold. We're going gold here. Oh, that is maybe not. That's not nice. Yeah, well, okay, right, like, right, like, snug. Like it doesn't. You shouldn't ought to be able to do that. Maybe not the gold one. It looks like we're going with the black one on there. That's not okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check. Yeah, Racing. Whoever said Yeah Racing has gold hardware they better not be fibbing, because this thing does not have nearly enough gold hardware on it. It needs more gold. It is a bit of a swanky axle. Note to self: do not attach this thing to power with that servo horn on there. I have no idea how close that is to center. That's reasonably close. It's close enough for us. It's close enough for us in the moment. We just want to be able to set it down. I have no idea where I'm going to put the speed control. A Rhino V80 is not small. Is that not a 3mm hole? No, it is. Is that not a 3mm hole? That's walking all over the place. I don't think that's a 3mm hole. Where'd that 2.5 go? Okay, why would you give me a servo horn threaded in 2.5? Because I guess this little short one is the one that's threaded in 3. All right, let's try that. I ran out of the instructions, and the instructions ran out on me. You know we're just going to end up using a big double clamper. But it's got to be put together and taken apart a couple times. So, oof. That one fits tighter than the other one. Why is that horn for your helicopter? Well, obviously. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
That doesn't look like a helicopter to me.
It doesn't look a lot like a helicopter, no. It looks a little like a helicopter. That is a little nubsy. Oh no, we got it. No. We got to put it on and take it off again. We might as well have parts in place. Goldie Rocks. Damn, that's pretty good. Goldie Rocks. I see someone says that they don't like the tiny screws and the double clampers. Nobody does, but when I talk about clampers, I talk about the big honkin' double clamper, and these use 2.5mm clamping screws that use a 2mm wrench. This is what I use on the servo tester. I've never managed to kill one of these. Any vehicle fitted with those, they're still going. Nugget. Damn. Nugget is good too. I don't know if it's as good as Goldie Rocks, though. That's tough. Now you need to get a hold of Logan and get a cut and shut so you make some cool looking ones. 50 pieces, M3. All they have is just 6s and 10s. I would need 10s and 20s. Lots of 20s. I think most of this rig is 20s. And then we got to figure out how. The rear drive shaft is the only part that is actually concerning to me. So that's a little wangle dangle. That's a little wangle dangle. We'll see. Pinion angle. How do we exhibit? Quite not bad. Quite not bad. I mean, when you have anything this short up in the front end, you're going to get a lot of pinion angle change. That's pretty much straight at full in. That's not bad, and it's above the link. I'm not upset about it. The only big question mark is like That's not enough insertion. I probably have one that I could swap out. This thing needs to be 15 millimeters longer, 15, 20 millimeters longer. That's not exactly a deal breaker. As a matter of fact, in one of the bins, I have a single cut to length. I can maybe just put a cut to length on the back of it. that is a beefy boy. Yes, it is indeed a beefy boy. So we're going to use the hat. Oh, okay. There's only 4 holes that work. So the holes are self-explanatory. Yeah, to anyone with a UA1, where did you put your speed control? Where did you put your big rhino? Because there's not a lot of... I mean, on top of the gearbox? There's not a lot of stuff here. Or move the links forward. I mean, aside from shortening up the wheelbase, oh, which by the way, we need to know. Almost 350, like 348. Aside from shortening up the wheelbase to pull that drive shaft in, I can't see. I can't see how that drive shaft is supposed to fit. It just looks too short. If it's the right length, it doesn't feel like it. That's the question I always ask myself: where to put my big rhino? Don't use the giant Rhino ESC ultimately. This thing is not that bad. Also, we only have to worry about a footprint this big. So I just honestly I don't know. And I mean, if I have a V40, should we just... But the V40 won't run a servo that's not a direct power. So do we end up swapping that servo out to run the direct power 50 kg flash hobby that I have? And then we run a V40 in this because a V40 is half the size? Front lower links to gearbox mount. Well, the problem isn't in the front. The problem's in the back. The front drive shaft is great. The mid drive shaft is great. The rear drive shaft does not appear to be correct. And it's not too short by a little. To me, it feels too short by a lot. Although, in fairness, I like to have a drive shaft almost bottom out at full compression. This thing looks like it's going to fall out. Could you put it under the hat? I'm looking for any spot. There's just nothing here. The Spider Wasp. There's nothing. We're going full finger tight. Yeah, I mean, I agree with direct power whenever possible, but the kit came with the servo. A big part of me wants to try the servo. Put his hat on. Oh, I have something you need to discuss amongst yourselves. I keep forgetting. We're getting into the European night here. And I keep forgetting. It's either yours or skewers. Oh. Front of rear lower links to gearbox. I see. Try to get it up under there. I got it. I got you. I'm with you. Because that drive shaft's not going to move. So he's saying get it right up under there. I think I might be able to do that. I'm certainly not going to rule it out. Oh. So. Pardon. It's either yours or the skewers. So on the Rhino V80, you say to remove the tubing around it? Yeah, I mean, it's covering the heatsink. If it wasn't covering the heatsink, I would say leave it on there, but it's absolutely covering the heatsink. It's not providing any kind of protection, really, except for, didn't somebody on the Discord drop like a wrench or something across terminals, bridge terminals, and blow something up? It does protect against that, but if you're worried about things like that, you can get yourself a pot of liquid electrical tape and just do a smudge of liquid electrical tape on either end. But yeah, none of mine in service have the plastic coatings on them. Fake approaches. You remember the fake approaches from way back? The usual process. Shoot me an email. RC four-wheel drive Super Swamper IROX. These are the 1.7s. These are the stock tires from a Marlin. They have foams. These do not. Cut 465 grabbers, stock element foams. I need the space. Nitto trail grapplers. These are the stock tires from a 10.3 JLU, 10.3 Gladiator. Stock foams included. In the grabber pile, we have a lightly used but very dirty General Grabber 4.19s. And then also with that, a completely unused Ruby stock wheels have literally never touched the ground. Grabber 3.85s. So 3 sizes of grabbers. And then lastly, Clerms. Completely unmodified in any way other than to have vent holes put in them. No foams. So everybody's got foams except the fake approaches and the Clerms. Also, are you a NIM person? Do you NIM? Are you a NIMmer? If you're a NIMmer, 3 random RC four-wheel drive, a Charisma, and a Hexfly, a 2000, a 1400. Also, just for your fun, all 3 of them have different plugs. That's how they go. Whoever takes one of them takes all of them. There's no splitting up. They're a family. It's a dysfunctional trio. Otherwise, I will throw them in the trash, literally, like a person who doesn't care about the environment. So you either take them or I'm going to throw them in the trash. So there's that. The other sock has said he wants the Ruby Stalkers, so those are already off the table. I know where that guy lives. So, yeah, so yeah, I know where you live, so you're getting these tires. I probably have more, but from the morning's cleaning, that's all we got. This is going to be fun to take all the way apart and put back together. It'll be like a typical RTR, where you get your RTR because that's the only way to buy the thing that you want, and then you have to take it apart so that you can put it back together. I put this together so that I could take it apart. Wow. Props. His little hat. Look at his little hat. His little hat fits so nice. Honestly, it's not, I guess the name of the game is really breakover, because it's not like an insane amount of travel or anything. Okay, what's physically hitting? Oh, you got to put a little angle on the dangle. of the lowers to get them to not hit the chassis rails. They still kind of do. Yeah, I can see why others... Yeah, somebody said I mount a V80 on the driver's side of the chassis. I run bodies on my Renault cars. I mean, I guess it would be mean to people to put a body on it. Just put a creep cab on there. Put a Defender on it. I don't know if you can paint it. I think it's silicone. Yeah, it's definitely... Like I say, it feels like the stuff that 3D inserts are printed out of. You can see it's got that... It's got a real sheen to it. Whee! Oh, we should see it with let me get this crap out of the way. Crap! We get all this crap out of the way. Yeah, there are a lot of screws that it didn't ask me to use, and I'm mostly concerned about that. There's so much hardware left over. We're not going to put the green ones on until we know what's what. We got to go with just plain black nuts. Yeah, it's a lot of leftovers, honestly. And because I knew I would have to take it apart again, that's why it all got thread locked. But I think that most of the thread locked stuff isn't going to need to come apart. Like, I shouldn't have to take the gearbox out. I should be able to just mount the motor like that. It has the... Oh, no, I'm going to... Okay, no, it's 2 screws. Yeah. I was like, how do you set your pinion mesh? You can't see it. Lexan early Bronco body. Ty Joe will take the small, dirty grabbers. Why does everybody love tiny tires so much? Oh, Jimbo will be here next week. Nice. Move the rear of the lowers in or go all outside. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that all outside would definitely stop the... Like, there it is, right now. Bonk. Bonk. Now, it is bottoming out with, like... Maybe they want... Maybe bend them the other way? No. It is... There's, like, a tiny little bit of travel left, but I don't like to give up travel. I'm really curious about stuff with the links basically behind the axis, the line of the axle. I'm really curious about that because what does that do? Did the Clerms store better than the stock? Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. The Clerm, the grand suffering of the Clerm is that, and oh wow, I don't think the Clerms were ever tested on Injora silicones. I'd kind of given up on them. So they just went in a box. Like, tires came out that were better. The S4 pin came out, and we forgot about the Clerms. The Clerm is not a bad tire. I forgot that I had them because they got shoved in a bin, and I was clearing out a bin to make room for camera stuff. It's not a Vanquish. Maybe the screws are spare parts. RC Timer has gold hardware. I have to look at that. Is your carrier bearing pushed too far forward? The drive shaft looks like it'll fall out. That's the same thing I thought. But the amount of exposure on the front and the mid are exactly the same. So it's either push the carrier is in the holes that were shown in the instructions, the forwardmost. I can move the carrier back, but then I'm worried that there won't be enough because that's a jump of 10 millimeters. And then I'm worried that this won't have enough engagement. I don't have a problem moving it. I feel like that drive shaft's not right. When you look at the pictures, the rear links are on the outside. I mean, you know, you know, I think they would work better on the outside, but they're definitely better on the inside. And you will also note all the way forward, yeah, all the way forward for the mount for the carrier bearing. I just went off the manual, man. Oh, the silicones don't make much of a difference on Clorms. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Tires on the far right. Oh, the Clorms. If nobody wants them, I want them on your skewers. uh, yeah, BSS says you need straps on it somewhere. This thing is notably bereft of negative springs. And like I said, 2 springs per shock, not 0, which is crazy. And none of them are negative. There are several iterations on that set of chassis rails. Yeah, there's the V1 and the V2. Do you have pictures of the cut grabbers? It's just every other focus. It's every other center lug cut out. That's all it is. And they're grabbers. They're as good as grabbers get. I mean, grabbers don't get great. They're okay. Yeah, I think rear lowers on the outside. Well, that one's easy to do. I'll just need a. Oh, I can do it without even changing hardware. I think. How about we put the rate? So do the double springs half the rate, or does the threaded collar negate that? It halves the rate. Well, they combine. So if you have a 2-pound and a 2-pound, it's 1 pound. I just took the bit out and then put the same bit back on because I was looking at chat. Move the carrier back might be a different drive shaft when they built the photo car. That is true. That is well true. I can do that quite easily as well. I can do that without messing with anything as well. Yeah, looking at it right here, I feel like we had a combination of steps because when these are on the inside, this angle looks like it would be a lot better if it was just in the factory position. But if they're out here, then these also need to be out here. Like the inner point seems to line up with that point. I don't know if there's a better or a worse. Which one is better or which one is worse? I don't know. I know it's easier to switch them to the outside, so for right now we're going to switch them to the outside. We'll put the spacer back on it because I didn't want to fish through to find a shorter bolt to get this thing to be correct. Lee Jordan wants the Nittos. Do they not have Nittos over there? It's going to cost me a fortune to send those things to the UK. They're not, I'm telling you, whatever it costs to ship those, it's worth more than the Nittos. So if you really want them, you're going to have to make it worth both of our whiles. Because when I go to Shippo and I try to build a label for that, and it says it's going to be $24 to ship those tires to the UK, I'm going to take them out in the backyard and light them on fire. Put them on the gold screw. Oh, so what you're all are saying is, okay, so we have an alternate notion, which is shorten up the wheelbase altogether, which would definitely correct the problem. I mean, that's going to shorten the wheelbase. That's not that bad. It's at almost 350, so it's going to be in like the 330s. That might actually be the way to do it. And then we would probably just move the rear uppers forward 1 hole, and then everything's fixed. you know what? I'm kind of leaning to that. When you're sending your Nittos to the UK, you can send me a sticker, please. This is what you UK folk need to do. You need to get together like you got together with RC Family, and you guys need to get together and decide the things that you want, and then I'll put them all in one box, and then you guys can pay one shipping charge to get everything sent to the UK because it's insane. Oh yeah, if Bonita Creek wants the Clerms, they're yours. They're yours. So we got rid of those. We'll set these aside because he said he wants them, and then that's all we got. There was literally, I'm not pointing out which one is which, right? I think that's why there was enough drive. Yeah, I think that they changed something, right? You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm here, and you're here, and we're here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna build this the way I would have done it had I never seen the manual. We're going to build this thing down to like a 330 some, it's going to be like a 336, 338 wheelbase, which just is going to require a lot of holes. A lot of holes are going to move. Because I'm going to have to redo the stuff at the axle as well. This is the only part of me that is regretting their choice of, I don't like changing bits. I'll take the cut grabbers and more foams. I'll take any of them you have left. All right, so now we would go like this. We're going to see what is this going to do to pinion angle? We just use the instructions as a guide, as a general guide. Not like stick to this or else. I already put my forceps away. Have you completely built the shock yet? Or are they just they're just there for holders right now. The shocks came assembled, but they are not filled with oil, so we don't know what they'll hold. They do have pistons, and the pistons are slotted. And I don't like working with shocks. It's not super fun. So I am going to have to take my time and get one built, acting like it's the way that it should act, and then I will build the other four accordingly. And then, provided that the process is not something that is deeply frustrating, I will translate the same treatment to the non V2 95s. Are you going to Proline by the fire? Apparently, yeah, the lower going to the shock. I just did that. Oh, I don't know how long that comment come up. That might have been the wire a while. I just Velcroed a Copperhead 10 on an AGFRC 12 volt. Yeah, stick it to the servo. Yeah, don't second guess. Yeah, I'm not a good instruction follower because as soon as I start, I'm like, well, that's not how I do it. Oh, you thought this thing was hunchback before? Or what we would call stink bugging? The reason I asked, yes. I am going to try your theory. I'm going to try your syringe theory when I do these. We're going to change the bit again. We're going to find out how that works. And if I sit and stare at this thing long enough, actually, it's the not staring that tends to pay off. I step away from it and I don't think about it for a while. And then all of a sudden, when I'm supposed to be doing something else, I come out here and I correct whatever problem they either they created or I created. Yeah, the drive shaft engagement is significantly better. And you know what's crazy about it? Here's a crazy one. Wait until I flip this over and you see that with no change to upper link position, From what I can see of it upside down, the drive shaft angle is better. Not only is the insertion now correct, but the actual angle is better. And we have full travel with no interference. BMFRC said it early on. I don't know if he's still here, but he definitely said it early on that those instructions will lead you astray. And yeah, they really did. They really did. It is that the rear upper looks even crazier now though. That drive shaft angle is pretty wild. You know what we need to do though? Oh, by the way, makes me think of a frog for some reason. I mean, I see it. With no wheels and tires, it looks kind of like a water strider to me. I don't know what they call those worldwide, but here we've called them water striders. Somebody mentioned one of those. I'm going to just go by emails. If there's an email asking me about it, I will send the stuff their way. Of that big run that was on here, we had a range of tires that are all pretty consistently mediocre. Except for these, which are X2SS Super Swamper IROX, and nobody said boo about these. I don't understand any of us. Little Starsky. Also, nobody said anything about the approach. And those are better than most of the tires that are over here. So the two sets of tires that I would classify as the better ones, no, people were like, no, not interested in that. That's not what I'm looking for. It looks like a moth. I think people are going to see a lot of things. I'm reaching. Let's see what the ridiculous clearance is going to look like here. Actually, you know what? That's the thing about these. It doesn't really look that goofy. These tires are so big. And I mean, I guess this is what they go on. I like the approach, but not worth sending to Belgium. No, they were $12 on Amazon. That is a spanking fresh lock nut. That is brand new. Now it's starting, you know. Stunod, one of the Marlins. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Like I say, if there's an email about it, you got it. It kind of looks more normal now. If something is as counterintuitive as you can get, it's that those are brand new lock nuts. When I got my first Phoenix, I ordered backup lock nuts, and the only way to get them, that just keeps threading and threading and threading. That's a lot of thread. The only way to get them was a 100 bag on Amazon. So I'm going to be going through 5mm lock nuts forever. That's a lot of stud. Yeah, see, that's what I'm used to. When I think sportsman, I think this sort of ridiculous nonsense. Because of that link, because the way the links are, it's got that wheelbase change. Ooh. Okay, now I said that it didn't seem like it had a lot of travel. No, it seems fine. It really seems fine. Let me see. I want all four down. We're gonna need the bigger. 160mm. A little less in the front. Got a little bit less travel in the front. 145, give or take. Not unexpected, as the front links are, front lowers are 84 millimeters long, and I think the rears are like 185. So yeah, I'm not surprised by more flex in there. Looks more robot than truck. Look at the flex. He's stink bugging. Goldie rocks. Yeah. Smooth, pretty smooth. Get good throw. Little cam out there. I might have to buy another set of double cardioids. I'm watching with my forward. Can you say hi, Albie? Albie? Hi, Albie. Yeah, it is spidery. Oh, important numbers. So we're on the basically no damping. We are on the biggest tires in the building, except for maybe Kryptonite Stickies. Might be a little taller. Maybe. I don't think they are. We've got 70 millimeters at the pumpkin. We've got 50 millimeters at the lowest point under the C-hub. At the waist, okay, front edge of the skid is 95, and the wasp waist is 133. Departure should be about the same. 60 under the portal box in the rear, 70 under the center. Some guy posted a picture of a it was on an Instagram reel, I think, where he showed a 35 on a portal next to a 43, and they were the same height. The axle was just straight, and the people that began immediately ranting about portals was, didn't it do something when I did this? It was this good. People will complain about anything forever and ever, always. Yes, and I do know that cardioids are microphones. Yes, super cardioids. Super cardioids. I have a cardioid microphone right up there. I can't unbolt it. It's my everyday mic. Double cardigans. Ooh, I like that better. Ooh, I like that. And well, backyardigans, front cardigans. Got the double front cardigans on there. So yeah, 450 is probably gonna definitely be the guy. He'll go right about there. I will figure out a place to put that speed control. Holmes does not approve of the axles, and BSS says more straps. Obviously, this thing is bereft of straps. It needs as many straps as possible. It is currently running, let me do my math again. Yes, 8 springs, which is 8 times too many, according to our good buddy BSS. It's wild, man. And I'm not mad about the fact that it doesn't look like anything else that's here, because that's kind of what we wanted. Something different. It is definitely that. And I mean, how can it not be on huge pins? Oh, look at it, the shock plier is, must be one of his relatives. I like his little yellow hat. I'm trying to look at which shock that I think that I can remove the most easily, so I can see. I mean, what are we looking at? Yeah, we're doing all right. Are y'all here? Are y'all here? Did y'all realize that we built this thing sub 3 hours? Like barely 2.5 hours? And the only part that had to be taken apart and put back together was the part that I followed I foolhardily followed instructions that were incorrect because they had obviously updated instructions midstream. Yeah, that is the correct way. This is the way it's supposed to go. I am most thankful that the shocks appear to be functional, and that's the thing that will grind on me, and it will get into my brain. Oh, that's what it needs. Yeah, just a Google eye there and a Google eye there. Just two Google eyes, glittery Google eyes. If it has straps on, then it'd be a gold member. Okay, we need to put some of the sauce into one of these shocks, and I might even consider looking into better foams. You know I won't. You know I never will. I'll run those $10 foams forever. If this thing can't do the stuff without being gifted $70 worth of foams, I will consider the entire experiment to be a failure. Someone in the sporty field has to know, if you were to say what sporty they most closely went after, what would it be? I mean, is it like is it Asylum, Lunatic? Is it along the lines of one of those? I've never really looked that far into it because you just look at the price. There's nothing wrong with Dirty Richards. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Dirty Richards. When I saw that I could get a set of foams for this for $20, I was like, yes. Yes, 100%. Yeah, Revolt would be great. You'll end up dropping the static ride height. Oh, no, 100%. But all of those measured ride heights, none of the low ones are going to, none of the axle ones are going to change because we're running on 6-inch tall tires. So we can drop the ride height on this significantly. Okay, they have made changes. I'm over here pulling it apart to see what we're working with. Okay, it's still all right. They made changes. Okay, so there is the fiber wiper. So above that fiber wiper, I have to assume is another O-ring. I'm not going to bother to pull that one all the way out. And then they do bottom O-ring. So instead of a spacer, they do the fiber. I'm 100% on board with that. And then they've changed to an even bigger than it was before brass retainer. And then the brass retainer nestles into the hole in this. It's the same thing I said, and I was so sad. I was sad about those SO95s, the non-V2s, because these are really well made, and they feel really smooth. And if I can bring them back to life, I want to get this piston all the way up. Yep. That is a brass piston. 4-hole. Okay, fine. I'll push it all the way out. I want to see as well. Ooh. Okay. I'm worried again now. I'm now officially worried again. I'm okay. I don't know about worried. Let's go as so far as to say cautiously optimistic. Double brass with the O-ring in the middle. What do they call those? Isn't that what the really expensive ones? K&K. Isn't that what K&K is doing? Isn't this K&K? Yeah, that is an O-ring in there. So, that's how they get away with brass. So we got to the bottom of that. I don't think it did. I probably did. Let's see. 7mm bore. So, coming back around again. GTS or 7mm bore. I wonder if I can fit a GTS piston in. put it on like a, yeah, like that. Yep. You can fit GTS pistons in these. So, depending on what the shafts look like in the other ones, if it like if they have the reduction, or I can drill them one way or the other. If I can fit GTS pistons in the regular 095s, problem solved, because I have blacks and reds, which means I can run like 90 weight or 100 weight in there on the reds. Let us get a piston in here and let us. I don't know how you bleed. Like, how do you bleed the air out of these? I mean, I know they're emulsion, but we also have a non-bleeding cap with. Okay, so they did not correct that. So it's a non-bleeding cap with no groove in the threads, no nothing. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna dirty build these, which is we're gonna start with our favorite ye old purple. The very look at the gleam on that bottle. Is it soaking out through its skin? Like, Losi bottle, why? I know that when I use this, I don't glorp shock fluid everywhere. It just sits there on the shelf and gets greasy and leaves a pool under it. All right, we're just gonna go the 40. We're just not gonna fill it up all the way. We're gonna basically try to no bleed these. Okay, already it seems promising so far. It just croaked like a frog. Okay, 40 weight is feeling. Boy, that filled up really fast. $40 weight is feeling slow, but not awful. Okay. I'm gonna have to do his technique with the syringe. And why am I gonna have to do it? I'm gonna have to do it because I'm gonna have to do this 8 times. So if we can get to 1, if I can, well, it won't be this one. I'm gonna have to do 7. So we're gonna do this one with a bad eyeball job, and we're gonna do the others by trying to fill a syringe to the same level each time. Ooh. Okay. I need to clean this off. Check for blow-by. Oh, Traxxas does the same thing. Bleeding out through. About that gearbox, yeah, there's definitely no OD-UD in that. That thing is simple. The tusk inserts for the carbon fiber wheels are gold. I don't see any blow-by at the top. So they made corrections. They made corrections. And I'm never going to fault somebody for that. If something doesn't look like it's working right. So what I will probably end up doing, because as somebody said, I'm going to try to bring the ride height down, I will probably split the difference between the sets. Because these are what? Yeah, these are 11.5mm springs. I'll split the difference and make a set for this that are just softer. And then I will retain the other ones for something that needs to be sprung more heavily. Because if I get the both sets of shorter springs from the other spring bag, that's nice. That's nice. That's just nice. Let's see what it feels like with one sock on. 4 shoes and 1 sock. The damping is going to feel super inconsistent because it doesn't have anybody helping it, but we are where we are. It's all going to be apart again anyway. Although maybe not. If I can figure out how to get the motor and ESC mounted with relative efficiency, we can take this thing apart to a minimal degree. I would prefer that. I'm energy conserving by nature. That's not the right lock nut. Oh, I got a bunch more over here. I've lost a lock nut already. Wonder if you... Yes, you can indeed buy those shocks separate. Yes, that collar does indeed move with the springs. It's floating. Oof. I should have done a front one. Those short links feels like it needs... It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just one shock out there on its own, trying to do all the work. Yeah, Rhino definitely sells the shocks separately. Just make sure, yeah, make sure you get the V2. Because there's the SO95s, Rhino Crawler SO95. These are the V2. Yeah, that feels solidly okay. Then I get into the non-damping of the other side, and it starts to feel terrible again. Let's see if Amazon hasn't broken anything. Comes in a tiny little box.
I like how the glass syringe came in a paper.
But there was a little box inside the paper mailer.
Whereas the aluminum parts.
Borosilicate glass syringes for veterinary and lab use. Oh. And it's lure lock with a blunt. Jeez. I've never seen a syringe this small with a needle this big. It looks like a cartoon syringe. It's like 50% syringe and 50% needle. That's a good sized blunt though. 14? 14? Is that 14? Yeah. 14 gauge. Imagine somebody putting that in you. That's a long day.
Saying it's a veterinary syringe, they put that into animals.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try it. It is as you know what? Let's put that back in the tube that I got it out. I'm not saying that historically I have a history. I'm saying that it's probably best if we store that in there. That's for hardcore RC addicts. Your syringe came with a blunt. Somebody's having a good time tonight. Heck yeah, brother. Brother. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can escape Goldie Rocks. It's so good. Goldie Rocks is so good. Not quite enough. See that right there? Though, honestly, I think these can safely be run right side up. Because honestly, I don't think they're gonna leak. I think they got it right. I think they got it right on the second try. Part of that is probably wishful thinking. But, if I move the rears forward one hole, that's probably going to drop the rear end down to right about there, which is about where I'd want to be. And I think the front might be okay. We can go one hole higher, which would take us to about there. Yeah, maybe. Maybe one hole forward rear, one hole higher front. Would be sitting about like that. That's top, that's roof. Top of body, about 12 millimeters above the top of the tire. It helps to run near 6-inch tall tires. Is it just right? It's not just right yet. But it's closer than it was. It's closer than it was. We're gonna get there. And look at this. I barely made a mess. Y'all don't even know. Like, I can make a mess. Now, I'm not home all weekend. Well, I am. It's not like I'm gone. I don't get to. We don't go away places. We drive to Orange County. I stand around for 16 hours and then I drive home again. And one of the things in life I hate is going to Orange County. I don't have a choice in the matter, so I'm going to Orange County. So I don't know, like, the live stream is pretty much the end of my day on a Friday. So post this, there's not a lot of RC stuff that goes on. So this thing is going to get set up on, geez, I don't know, whatever we set it on. Ordinarily we'd put these on a yoga block, but I think these can clear a yoga block. I mean, if you're wondering what kind of ground clearance it has, so if we put it, there we go. There's how we can keep it off the ground. If you put it regular flat ways, you can just slide it right under just slides right through the middle. Slides right through. Stay off the 91 freeway. That's good advice to anyone. Anyone. If you're not from California and you ever come to California and your thing is trying to send you, nope, doesn't go in there. I was like, maybe this tube goes in these right here. Nope, it would limit rear travel, so it absolutely does not. If your guidance system tries to send you on the 91 freeway, just try to escape. Do whatever you can. The way they oriented the 91 freeway, it runs in such a way that you can't get off of it. Like, there are no other routes that go where the 91 freeway goes. So if you're on the 91 freeway, you're on the 91 freeway. Your other options are get off and I guess try to take surface streets to get to where you're going, but I don't recommend that either. Although they're all pretty bad, let's be honest. The 55, the 57, the 405, you name it. None of them are good. There's nothing free about the freeways, baby. The 91 and the 405 suck. What date do you think Goldie Rocks will have her inaugural outing? So it's not going to get worked on today, tomorrow, or the next day. Best case, I will be able to try to get electronics installed Monday. I would say that there is a 10% chance, as we stand right here, right now, Friday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would say that we have a 10% chance of this thing being on a video by Thursday. That's 10%. So far as I know, standing right here, right now, you would be the people to tell. Our second non-Friday, but our first week of no live is first Friday in September. I will not be here on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So there'll be no live stream that weekend. So what I have to do is in between now, and mind you, no RC on the 31st and the 1st. So between the 2nd, so on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, is that right? 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. Between the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I have to make videos for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and probably Monday. So I have to make 7 videos over really about the course of 4 days. I don't even know if I will manage to get a proper Wheelin' Wednesday, like a Crawlympics installation. I don't know what we're going to manage to get accomplished this upcoming week. Also, bonus, my wife has the week off from work. So I'm not speaking that negatively. I'm just saying that sometimes she's like, "Oh, can we also do this?" And those who know, you know. If you get asked to do the thing, you do the thing. So it's not even that it's this is not a front burner, back burner issue. This is a good grief time management. How are we going to manage this? I'm trying to make sure that all of the bags with stuff in them go into the little box. The added gear oil. Now I really want to open them up. Those things full of gear oil? Has anybody opened those up? I would not hazard to ask my wife to swing a camera. That would. She says she would be something along the lines of, "Your best hope is that I don't get involved," and I think that's true. She does not. When it comes to the nonsense that we deal in daily with the toy cars, she does not partake. She does not partake. Do the patented XO 9-minute vids. Save yourself and enjoy. Oh my God, I try and I can't. It also, I think what helps / hurts my inability is that I don't write anything down. I never script. I don't do takes. I don't do cuts. I shoot everything as a oneer out back, and I chop it up in the edit room. And what you see is pretty much what you get. I have been tempted in the past to just put one up in the members section to where you could see what a full video looks like. To the blurry shakiness of me carrying the camera while it's still on, because I hit record, and when I hit stop, it's when I'm like, "See you next time, everybody," and then I hit stop. Yeah, Scott likes the Rhino axles, just needs some mods to work better. I really just do a dramatic reading of a rig's specs. And would you believe a 313 millimeter wheelbase? Such an audacious number. I love these drive shafts, not just because they eliminate that cam action, the double cardigan up front, the front cardigan. They really do feel smoother. They feel notably smoother on the rock, and they're like $20 on Amazon. So smoother for $20, but also thread lock the living crap out of them. Most anything you get, like stuff like this, I know that this is all put together. I still kind of don't trust it. I almost would have rather had to build the axles myself, because I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did. I'm just especially thankful overall that it's all 2.5 millimeter. It's all socket caps. So even if they used blue, just squirted blue thread lock in there, I'll be able to get those apart. Because it's when they're the 1.5 millimeter on the little tiny 2.5 button heads, you're like, I'm going to strip one of those out for sure. And then the prophecy self-fulfills. Yeah, the camming was noticeably less with those. I on the rock, I don't notice it at all. They feel absolutely smooth. It feels like a different axle. I am curious. Here's a curiosity that I'm curious about. Let's get this out of the way. I'm not doing any more screws. I'm not doing any more screws today. We're done. We're done with that. All of the tools, virtually all the tools are away. We've put the tools away. How would you, I mean, how could you possibly throw this away? What a bonus. Who doesn't love a plastic container? Like, what are you going to put in that? Doesn't matter. Leaky shocks? I don't know. We're going to put something in there. So, let's see. Oh, needs a little bit more damping. Yeah, as expected, they're pretty much, get out of here, you crap. Keyboard. Yeah. This guy needs resprung as well. His fronts are they're too long and too heavy. I need to do shorter and softer. They're like 1 pound and they're still too firm. Just doesn't have a lot of sprung weight. I mean, I don't know if offhand I can think of 2 more different approaches to the same thing. I mean, and by that I mean offset capper axles. Oh, Ridgeline. Hey, I can't. Whenever you guys want to come back, I am. Aside from the last weekend of August and the first weekend of September, I am effectively always here. We still on camera too? Yeah, I mean the wheelbase, real close, real close. This gal. Goldie Rocks was probably right at Wolverine's wheelbase before we switched it to the correct orientation for the back. But yeah, real close. Roof heights are close. I mean, this runs 95 shocks and this runs 107s. But so, like, ooh, is it time for Reddit? Is it? Yeah, bro. Double flex off. Leave part 1 on a cliffhanger. And so this is right. So this is a 9x6x4 yoga block. So we're on the 6-inch side, and she's right at the end of it. But this guy, because of the longer shock, he's got a bit more. Are you going to Proline by the Fire? So far as I know, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Partly against my will, I was told that I'm going, is what it came down to. I was told, hey, guess what? You're going to Proline by the Fire. I already got a ticket. So there you go. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. How do I get more flex? What are you starting with? What are you working with? Everything that these have basically is how you can get more. Wider axle is going to flex more. Longer shocks is going to flex more. But if you're on something like a C channel, putting longer shocks on is just going to make you really tall. So you need shock positions, like look how high off the ground their upper shock mount positions are. This guy's upper shock mount position is 165 millimeters off the ground. This one's is 160. So typically on a C channel thing, your shock mounts are going to be way lower than that. Tall tire, you get more flex with straps, lots of straps. Yes. Yes. So long as you don't speak, no one will recognize you. That's true. That's true. I can just have an accent the whole time. I can do a really bad accent. No, that might give it away too. I don't know. I could do a real Jason Statham the whole time. This is my real voice, mate. C channel desert lizard. The C channel's not going to help you. But, you know, you can't get more. Just don't do the thing, don't do the Reddit thing where you just put longer shocks on it and then are like, oh, it's flexing now. That's no way to live. Like, most of the time, in general, and here's the thing. Well, yeah, I am Troy. Use your bad British accent. Oi, governor! Flex is usually about the height of a tire minus a little bit. So if you're running a class 2 tire, 465, 475, flex between 4 inches and 4.5 inches is generally a point where you don't want to go beyond that. You don't need much more than that. That obviously that's a class 2 rule of thumb that I try to operate by. If you're working with something like this, these tires are 6 inches tall. This thing has a wheel track of 275. So having this amount of flex is fine. It's fine for this. The tires are 6 inches tall. It's flexing about 6 inches. I want to see you in the Vanquish booth. Zut alors! Oh, the French accent. Yeah, I don't know how to. I can pronounce some French if I'm reading it, but my impersonation of French would not be an impersonation. It would be a mockery. I don't want any more flex. Really, I was joking. No, yeah, like a Phoenix. Phoenixes have real small amount of flex because they're kind of built that way. And even when I got on my Zoku, we have 2 Zokus. We've got Argenum and Zorana, and if you put them side to side, Zorana has like at least 50% more flex than Argenum does, because I built them with very kind of different philosophies, even though it was basically the same parts in the same chassis. So I don't go for just Ridgeline. Best long travel shocks you suggest you don't leak. Traxxas GTS long arm. You can get them on Jenny's for cheap, and that's a big reason of why they're one of the recommended, because they're very cheap. Other than that, you can do the usual thing where you get Chavtex. Like, they make them in 115s. They make them in 105s and 115s. And then when you rebuild them with Traxxas parts, they're nice. So, depends on how much work you want to do. I would say that the GTS will be far more trouble-free. You can just bolt them up. Change your springs, bolt them up, and you're done. Have you got rigs picked out for the event? I don't know. Argenum is the one I tend to take. That would probably, like, I'll probably take 2 rigs with me. I don't know. Maybe I'll take Wolverine and Argenum, or I'll take Zoidberg and Argenum, or I'll take Robo Kitty, or, you know, I want to take 2 things that are really different. Maybe I'll take this because I know that a bunch of people talk shit about the axles. You know, I don't know. Are they the same tracks in the High Trail Edition? Yes. My Ridge Rock can completely cross its axles. It drives like a wet noodle. Yeah, I don't want the stand it up on that while this tire is still on the ground. Boy, this thing is so... There's so little... It feels really heavy when you pick this box up. But all of that weight is in these axles. I wasn't even paying attention, and I didn't even notice the giant brass on the front axle, because there is no sprung weight on this thing. There is no oil in the shocks to control damping, and the body doesn't even rock. So it'll be an interesting one. It'll be interesting. Where are you going? I just got here. Oh, Anime Impulse tomorrow. Laughlin next weekend. Proline by the Fire. Maybe I'll see you there. Yeah, the Marksman. Somebody gave me, I think I have it figured out. A gentleman gifted to me a Mamba X and a Holmes Puller Pro 3500. So I think this is what I'm going to put in the Marksman. And then we're going to put 4S on it. And then we're going to see what happens. 3500 and 4S, and we're going to find out what happens. It'll be a good time. A good time will for sure be had by all. Yeah, and Curtis will be here on X-Mullet is one. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, it's too early. It's too early to pick, really. It's too early to pick. Yeah, give it the juice. Will you be doing any filming? I don't know. I usually don't. I'm a big lover of that meme where it's like, look at that. Think about it. Just two guys hacking each other to death with swords and not a cell phone in sight. People just living in the moment. And I kind of like that. I mean, I don't know. If it was any filming, I might do some shorts on my phone. Like, I'm not gonna take gear, even though I do have a 3-axis gimbal. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? The guy that's walking around filming everything. No offense to that guy. I just don't want to be that guy. So that's the extent of that. But I don't leave house without my phone. It's like, you do the pocket slap. Phone, wallet, keys. So yeah, I mean, I'll have my phone. I might film something. We need some video footage from your trip. Yeah, to prove that I was there.
To prove you left the canyon.
To prove I left the yard. Yeah, we'll see what we can organize. If you're not filming, you become that guy. Yeah, I think I like shorts. Like, I don't do enough shorts, and I sit and I lament quietly about lack of channel growth when I know that is because I don't do the other stuff. Like, I think I've put one Instagram upload in like the last month, and I think my last YouTube short is 2 months ago. Get a picture of Josh and Matt kissing. I think you definitely have to be in the depending on your perspective. You either have to be in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. It's one or the other. I'm sure it happens. I don't know. Member content and Proline by the fire. Yeah, there you go. Here's how I'll spur that membership drive. What's the gear reduction in the Shafty? Okay. This Rhino, okay. I bet I can y'all know. We're deep in the Midwest goodbye, right? You know this. Okay. So, Rhino crawler gearbox. All I need to know is the ratio in the box, and there's a picture of it. There we go. That gearbox weighs 59 grams. It is available on Amazon. All I need is a picture of the gears on the inside. That's all I need to see. Laser welding. It would be, but what would be really nice is if just a thing said, here's the internal reduction. Heat treated, yada yada, blah blah. No, they don't tell me. I'd have to count teeth. Which I can. 8. Wow. Okay, so that looks like a 27 or a 28. Let's operate under the assumption that so there's a hat gear in there. There's an 8 with a 27 on it, and the 8 is driving A. What looks like a 30. Okay, so like a 30. And that's just the straight output. That's all the gearing we've got. It came with a pinion. Not that matters. I can select whatever pinion. But let's find that pinion. That's small. Pinion is a... Looks like a 10. It's a 9. Okay. So, a 9 drives a 27. And an 8 drives a 30. Boy, that's 3 times 3.75. Isn't that funny? These are all ratios that we know. So the internal ratio is 3 times 3.375. Yeah. 11 and a quarter. And then we'll have 3.75 in the axles again. And then we're going to have 1.91 in the portals if they're stock gears. That's 80 to 1. That is... Maybe I shouldn't have gotten a 1900. Maybe we're going to have to run this thing on 4S. A 1900 on 80 to 1. Wow. That's a lot of gear reduction. That 8-tooth, man. That 8-tooth does some... That 8-tooth does some stuff. Yeah, 927, 3 to 1, 830, 3.75 to 1, driving at 3.75 to 1, driving 1.9s. Yeah. 80 around that 80 to 1 on a 9-tooth pinion. So I mean I could do the rollout math, but I'm not going to go that far. But this thing is not going to be brisk. I might have to order tiny wee baby 4S's. If we're gonna stick with a 1900 on there, because wow, I did not see 80 to 1 gear reduction coming, because I'm getting used to the American manufacturers. I'm getting used to stuff here where it's like 40 or 50 to 1, and a 1900 is almost too brisk. Yeah. Although that is operating on an assumption that there's 830s in the axles. Who knows?
You gotta put a motor in it. Put that 1200 in it.
The algorithm is weird. I made the dumbest short with my C10 and some turbo diesel son. I got like 11,000 views in one day, and then nearly nothing. It's just weird. Yeah, they just feed it in, and then all of a sudden it stops. I've had a short get 300 views in like the first week, and then all of a sudden at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 days later, it gets 2,000 views during a 1 hour period. And it's because the algorithm decides to feed it in, and then a bunch of people watch it. I don't understand how it works. I do what I can. I got 830 in the back, 824 in the front, and 1520 portals in the front. That's a lot of overdrive. 133, right? Yeah, 133 times 3. That's 4. 3.75 times 1.91 and 7.1 in the back. 4 divided by 7.1. That's 44% overdrive. Oh, pretty sure stock diffs are 824 on the Rhino axles. That is good to know. See, I wouldn't know that until I cracked them apart. But nevertheless, we do know 11.25. So that's just times 3 times 1.91. All right, that's 64 to 1. That's still pretty high on the reduction. If you're past 55 to 1 or so, you got a significant amount of reduction. So 64.5 to 1 is still pretty good. Now these are 6 inches tall. I still think 1900 that would be 200% overdrive. I think the 1900 is still probably more 4S. Do you need to replace that front steer link? This big mustache seems like you can see the tie rod is well clear, and because of the geometry, like it's all clear. Yeah, no, everything. Get some camming out there at the end. Get some camming out there at the end. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, there it is. Let's not pull that off. Get out of there. I mean, it'll take the usual amount of tweaking and then even more tuning. I did do a computation. Speaking of 200% overdrive, I did do a computation that if you were to put an 833 here and an 824 here, and then put the wild overdrive gears in the front portals, and run a 2 low in the middle, you could get to 94% overdrive. I think is where my math came out. So for every 16 revolutions of the front tire, the rear tires would rotate about once. That might be too much, because that's basically just not perfectly functioning dig. I mean, dig is just 100% overdrive. It's just all the power to the front axle. But yeah, if you want, I mean, you can. Steering was the first thing that I changed. The tie rod? Yeah, constant dig. Just dig all the time. It will hurt you in some situations, I have to imagine. Yeah, you know what we did? You know what we had? Flop. 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 We had a good time, did we not? We had a good time. The most, it's not even bittersweet. To say goodbye is bittersweet. No, it's just bitter. We won't be here again. We will not be here again live together. Maybe absence will make the hearts grow fonder. I will not see you again in the live, presumably, until September 13th. Is that calendar app? Is that correct? Until September 3rd, Friday the 13th. In betwixt now and when we meet again, it will be Friday the 13th when we meet again next. Raised at 16 millimeters. So did you flip the tie rod to the top? Yeah, dragging its butt would go along with Miata's commuter's description of what it looks like. Yeah, it's a bug. It's a frog. It's a weird thing. It wears a yellow hat. Oh, hey, he made it. Got his teeth pulled. No pain yet. Oh, RC Jeep guy. RC Jeep guy. You enjoy that until that local wears off. Because if yours is anything like mine, oh my goodness gracious and gravy. It was real rough when that stuff wore off for me, and I only got one. It was tough times. So I hope for better for you. I hope for better for everyone. I will see you in the videos. I will see you in the comments. I will see you on the Discord. I hope to see you again here back on Friday the 13th when we meet again here for a live. I'm coming to grips with the fact that I won't be here next Friday. So, thanks so much, everybody. We will see you again real soon. In between now and when we meet again, please, one and all, everybody do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again real soon. I'm going to hit the button. And I'm going to go get one of them drinks. Yep. Cut to Skeletor running away. I need to figure out how. See, I can do this. That's a Stream Deck. I can do this now. I have all these buttons that I don't know what any of them do. I will have this thing configured at some point, and I'll be able to just be like, "See you later, everybody," and I'll hit the button, and Skeletor will run away. I'll figure out how to make it work. This old dog can't learn a new trick. We got a goodbye after the goodbye after the goodbye.